right. How's everybody doing? Carolyn Thornton, by the book. Good to see you. Uh, how's everybody doing tonight? Um, Sorry I'm late tonight. Got off work really late. I'm almost an hour late on tonight's show, about 44 minutes late. So I do apologize for that. Um, who, Hundi Grand Slams? Okay. How are you doing? All right. Welcome, everybody. Okay. And Corey, good to see you, brother. Michelle B, good to see you. Tonight I want to talk about interracial relationships, and I want to talk about um, it being on the rise. Okay, and if you've seen my what I posted on my community page, put in there interracial relationships on the rise, or interracial marriage on the rise. Avalanche is coming. Okay, we're moving in a time and place right now where interracial marriages are on the increase across the board. Okay. People of different ethnic groups, people of different racial groups are coming together, getting married. Okay. And there's something going on between black women and white men. Okay. There's a blessing going on. Um, Marriages between black women and white men are the longest lasting. Statistically, they have a 44% less chance of divorce than two white people. And they've done studies on this. And, I've looked at different studies, and a lot of them are similar. There is something really going on here. And a lot of people are, confused by it or shocked or didn't think that it would happen like this. And when it comes to interracial dating and marriage, black women and white men are the most attacked group. They are. You know, People don't want to see that combination getting together. They really don't. And but it's happening more and more. And that group is the least likely to get married, but the most successful when they do. And it's amazing. And a lot of people out there won't go into the stats when it comes to marriages between black women and white men. You got people out there telling black women don't get with white men because it's dangerous. They're racist. They're fetishizers. They're, whatever, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But the stats tell a different story. The propaganda tells one story, the stereotypes tell that one story, but then the statistical truth tells the other story, tells the truth. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing some audio with you. And, and this is coming from Umar Johnson. This guy believes in total segregation. He don't think black people should marry out at all. He's totally against it. He don't think other groups should get together. He's the modern day segregationist. Okay, and there are a lot of people that believe like that. Not just white people are segregationists, but there are black people that also are segregationists and believe in that thought that we need to be separated, that we don't need to be married to each other, procreate with each other. But I disagree. I think we should have our options wide open. Option button should be right here, ready to push it if need be. Okay, because in today's world, we got good and bad in every group. And to get the best choice, have more options. You have more of a chance of finding that blessing, that person that loves you and that's going to treat you right. If you have more options, you have a greater chance. It's logical. It makes sense. Okay. And, the stats are coming out. And the truth cannot be, you can't hold down the truth forever. You can suppress it a little bit, but the truth is always going to surface. It don't matter what you do. Truth will surface. You might be able to hide it for a while. You might be able to spin it. You might be able to put some propaganda in there and get people to thinking that something is happening that's different than the reality, the truth. And I'm going to show you this audio. I'm not going to show the video because of copyright issues, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to put the audio up here. You won't see the video, but it's Umar Johnson, Umar Jackson, Umar Johnson, given his reasons why he believes that Black women should not open up their options. He's going to give 2 examples why Black women should not date out. And he's going to be using 2 celebrities, Robert De Niro and I forget that guy's name that plays, I guess, for the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't think of his name right offhand. But I guess they ended up in divorce and stuff. And and not all marriages last, but that's 2 people, that's 2 celebrities. But this guy, this Umar Johnson, I don't think he will dig in the stats when it comes to Black women, white men, and marriage success. Unless it takes a horrible turn, then he'd be all over it, like white on rice. But when it shows a positive effect when it comes to interracial marriages, he's going to suppress that data. He's going to stay. He'll take individual cases and make it sound like this is it. Okay. And I'm not doing this to go in on him. Okay. But a lot of what he says, some things don't make sense, but a lot of stuff he's out there. And a lot of it's like fantasy type stuff. Like he's talked about the Snow Bunny secret agents going to get with Black men to destroy the Black community. Only the men in that community can destroy it, But, he talks about that. And recently I heard him say that on one of his videos that it was white corporations that took out Kobe Bryant, that they're responsible. And I'm like, okay, wow. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. If you watch some of his videos, it's like, come on now. But I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to break it down and talk about it. And you can give me your opinions, okay? And yeah, and we'll talk about the Snow Bunny crisis too, okay? But I want to make a point on this, okay? And he admits something that we need to celebrate, But I'll start, and then I'll stop it here and there, and you guys give your opinions. And if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, go ahead and correct me, okay? I don't expect everybody to believe in everything I say. Umar Jackson. No, I meant Umar Johnson. I said Umar Jackson on accident. There's probably some Umar Jackson on there. Hey, I'm not that guy. But anyway, let me go ahead and start this. But he's given a reason why Black women, you should not open up your options. And I'll go ahead and play it.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and fan base. I posted on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and fan base 2 memes. One in reference to Robert De Niro's divorce at the end of last year from his Black wife. And another about Sister Kayla, I believe her name is, who was dating Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, Travis Kelce, you probably heard about that, where they're saying that he only gave her $100 since they were in their relationship. I don't know. I haven't really studied it. I heard a little bit about it, but Robert De Niro got divorced from his Black wife. He had been married for several years, but he's going to tell you, about white privilege and why you shouldn't date out and all this stuff. But let's continue.
And in the case of Robert De Niro's black ex-wife, the appeals court refused to give her half of Robert De Niro's estate. I repeat, she did not get half. Because he's a privileged white male, the courts work in his behalf, in his favor, and so she did not get half. Now, wives normally get half, and she was with him for quite some time. Had he been black, she would have got half. Had she been white, she would have got half. But Robert De Niro happens to have the complexion of protection, so his black ex-wife did not get half his money. Yes, she gets $1 million a year.
Okay. Do you believe that's true? Do you think because Robert De Niro's a white man that he has white privilege in the courts? Did she get railroaded because she's going up against a white man? I don't know. I mean, I haven't studied the case, so I just know there was a divorce, and I guess they refused to give her half the estate, but she gets $1 million a year, I guess. She's still going to get something out of it, but I'd have to study it legally to give my opinion on whether it was fair or not. I think in Robert De Niro's case, they had marital problems because I think from what I heard, she got them in a lot of debt, and he had to take on extra jobs. But I don't know. I mean, I'm outside looking in. But maybe there was a racist judge or in there that sided with him because he's white. I don't know. That's what, Umar Johnson says. If it was a black man, she would have already got half. Okay. I don't know. That's his opinion. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. But anyway, let's continue.
But she did not get half, which is what a white woman would have got for Robert De Niro, okay? Or which is what she would have got had Robert De Niro been black. And then I posted with regard to Travis Kelce and his ex-girlfriend. And allegedly the rumor is that he only...
Okay, is that right? Did she really get half? Maybe Umar Johnson's wrong. I don't know. I don't know if what he's saying is factual. I haven't studied it. So I'm not going to go in and tell Umar he's lying about that white privilege because I haven't studied it. Umar Johnson has lied and made up stuff before, but I don't know. But anyway, let's continue.
About $100, or should I say gave her $100 in cash during the relationship. Of course, he probably took her out. They went on vacations. I'm sure he spent money on her, but he probably only gave her, $100 in cash. My point for posting those two memes, and in the case of Robert De Niro's black ex-wife, the appeals court refused to give her.
Okay, sorry guys, I'm backing up a little bit because I want to see what he's talking about, the $100 while they were in their relationship or they're married, or anyway, sorry about that. Let me continue.
Half of Robert De Niro's estate. I repeat, she did not get half. Because he's a privileged white male, the courts work in his behalf, in his favor, and so she did not get half. Now, wives normally get half, and she was with him for quite some time. Had he been black, she would have got half. Had she been white, she would have got half. But Robert De Niro happens to have the complexion of protection, so his black ex-wife did not get half his money. Yes, she gets $1 million a year, but she did not get half, which is what a white woman would have got for Robert De Niro, okay? Or which is what she would have got had Robert De Niro been black. And then I posted with regard to Travis Kelce.
And
his ex-girlfriend. And allegedly the rumor is that he only spent about $100, or should I say gave her $100 in cash during the relationship. Of course, he probably took her out. They went on vacations. I'm sure he spent money on her, but he probably only gave her, $100 in cash.
Wow. Is that true? He only gave her like $100 in cash? Heck, I gave my wife a lot more than that back when I was dating her back in 93 and 94. I had a lot less money than this guy, but I heard that, but I don't know. I just that's weird. That's selfish if it's true. But anyway, let's continue.
My point for posting those two memes. My point for posting
Okay,
those
here we
two
go
memes.
3 times. Go ahead.
My point for posting those two memes was to show black women. Because black women are the fastest growing interracial dating group in America.
Hey, how about that? Black women are the fastest dating group, interracial dating group right now. Is that true? That's what Umar is saying. He'll say it again.
Black women are the fastest growing interracial dating group in America. Black
women are the fastest interracial dating group in America. Is that true? I believe he's right. I think he's right because look, it's increasing every day. And you look at the divestment movement, it's taken off, right? Black women are opening up their options. Black women, are being more strategic than ever, and they should be. And of course, black women outnumber black men by approximately 2 million in America. So they're outnumbered before they get started. Black men date and marry out 2 to 3 times what black women do, right? So logically, it makes sense to keep the numbers balanced. If you want to be married and have more of a choice, when it comes to men, when it comes to love, character, economics, all that stuff. Okay. There's good in every group. I'm not bashing no group. What I'm saying is logically, black women need to open up. There's some that never will, and that's their right. But the ones that are willing need to do it. And don't be shamed out of it. That will, that will be destructive on all of us. Really will be. But hey, let's hear that again. He's supposed to say it 3 times.
Men are the most likely to interracial date in America. Black men are most likely to marry outside their race.
Okay.
But black women are the
Okay, that's interesting, right? He says that black women are the fastest group right now to interracially date and marry out, right? And then he says black men are the most likely. We know that black men do it 2-3 times what black women do, right? So we know black men are the most to date and marry out. Okay. Truth be told, the majority of black men will marry black women. I mean, most people, stay within their own race, but they're the most to do it. And black women is the fastest group right now. I got to look into that. I haven't researched that. I know the numbers are climbing all the time. And, I believe him in that. That's one of the rare things he says that makes sense. But he's telling black women that because of, Robert De Niro and Kelce, whatever his name is, that because those relationships were bad, you shouldn't open up your options. You should stay away. But let's continue.
Fastest growing interracial dating group. My purpose for the 2 memes was to show my beautiful African sisters who I love so much. I love black women. I support black women. I will stand with black women. I will stand for black women. I will die for black women. Okay?
Okay, but will you marry a black woman, Dr. Umar? Do you even have a wife? I tried to look it up and it says unknown. I mean, I don't, you said that marriage with those 2 women was a fashion show, so that was a sideshow circus, really. So you were lying. Do you even have a black wife? You say you love black women, you would die for black women. You will protect them. I say the same thing, but I have a black wife, Dr. Umar. So it kind of makes sense me saying it. I don't know. I mean, I know you lust after him because you say all kinds of sexual things about him, But anyway, let's continue a little bit.
Support for black women, okay, is non-exceptional. Even if I don't agree with the black woman, I'm obligated by my ancestors and every unapologetically African alpha male who came before me. I'm obligated by my ancestors and every unapologetically African alpha male who has come before me to be a defender of black women. That's something that I take very, very seriously with regard to my responsibilities as an African man.
Okay.
I posted those two.
Do you believe that? That his responsibility is to protect black women? He is right. That is his responsibility. Do you believe he'll do it? Let me tell you, as a man, Umar, as a man, it's our responsibility to protect women, period. Okay? If women are in distress, regardless if they're the same race or different race, regardless if they're our preference or not, we should protect women as men. That's what we should do. You know, society would be better off if we just did that. But, okay. So I guess Umar's going to be patrolling the streets for you ladies, making sure black women are safe. Dr. Umar. Yeah, you feel bad? You should listen to this. But I'm not going to listen too much more. But anyway, let's continue.
Because I wanted to show black women that the grass is not greener on the other side. I posted those two memes because I wanted to show black women that the grass is not greener on the other side. Now, yesterday, somebody told me Shannon Sharp went live.
Okay, I don't want to get into what he says about Shannon Sharp. I really don't care. The guy is nuts. He's got this video. If you listen to the whole thing, he goes in on Shannon Sharp because he's got a white wife, and he goes into LeBron James because his son took a white girl to the prom, and he's getting in everybody's businesses. Who cares, Umar? It's a family issue. Who are you to tell another man what he does, what his family does, who his son dates? That is pathetic. I know you want racial segregation and all this, but you're not going to get it. Things are changing. And this thing, the grass is not greener over the hill. Yes, it is. If you look at the numbers, okay? In the black community, and you've said this, talking about Umar, he said this, that only 1 out of 4 black women get married. And he blames the snow bunny crisis. Okay. All right. But how can you change a man going for the woman he wants to be with? And what's going on in the black community when it comes to marriage is not the snow bunnies. It's the men's character. The men have to be men and take care of the women in their community by marrying them, by taking care of them and the children. Okay? This is not white women coming in destroying. He even said that white women are secret agents coming out to get black men's bank accounts. And well, okay, I'm going to keep it real and be honest, okay? I was going to make fun of him on this, but after that broadcast, and I was making fun of snow bunnies and the secret, the military operation with snow bunnies going in on black men, I got a knock at the door. And this woman was there. And she was angry, knocking at my house door. It was weird. It's like a Twilight Zone thing. Knocking at my door, right? Just pounding, beating it down like she wanted to kick the door in, right? I'm like, oh my God, so I'm in the door. Can I help you? She says, look, what's this thing about snow bunnies? I'm like, do you even know who I am? Yeah, I know who you are. And you're about to end an important military operation. We know Umar knows about it, but you just making fun of it, you can crash the whole operation. And I tell you, she was mad. She was angry. She had long blonde hair and blue eyes. They were bloodshot. And she was angry and drooling. And, she introduced herself, said she was Special Agent Becky Poppins. And, her assistant, Commander Karen. And, that I'm telling you guys, we should probably just put this to bed. It's dangerous. Okay. There's a couple black men living in my neighborhood, and I seen snow bunnies going in the house, and something bad is going on. So, be very careful. Okay. Snow bunny thing's real. It's a secret military operation. Okay. And I thought it was a joke, but Umar, he knows, he's on it. And I would say to Umar, please protect yourself. Go to your mom's basement right away. Lock the door. Start making some videos. Okay, get the word out. The Snow Bunny crisis, and when it comes to military operations, you don't mess around with the government. We have Delta Force, we got, SEAL teams, we got forced recon, but God help us if the snow bunnies come in, we're done. And when she came in, Special Agent Becky Poppins, I started to tremble. I was in fear. It was scary. The snow bunny thing is real. And Commander Karen, and she had red hair and a green eye and blue eye, kind of weird. I think she was like kind of a human droid. But seriously, take cover. If there's black men in your neighborhood, protect them. Make sure they go to the basement, and we need to notify the authorities immediately, because this is a real life thing. Okay. But anyway, all fun and joking aside, this guy really said this: a military operation of white women to destroy the black family by getting with successful black men to get in their bank account. He said this. And like, people are supposed to believe this crazy thing. I'm serious. Like, I was joking that it sounded ridiculous, right? But he was saying it seriously, that it's a military operation. He also says that white corporations took out Kobe Bryant. I'm just like, I know our government has done some crooked stuff in the past. They have, so I'm not putting it past the government to do some shady stuff. But come on, white women to. Here's the thing. When it comes down to it, guys like Umar are actually, in my humble opinion, destroying the black community, because he's putting out this stuff, giving excuses, and not holding men accountable in his community. It's either white supremacy that's not allowing black men to marry black women, or it's the snow bunnies stopping it, or look, how you fix a problem, how you fix a community is you start with the man. And all our communities are jacked up, seriously. Truth be told, we're going to hell in a handbasket, and we're like over the cliff with rocks tied to the basket. It's not a good time. It really isn't. But the only way to fix it or make it better is have men take accountability. Men should be the first to take accountability. I cannot hold my wife accountable and my kids accountable if I can't take accountability. Okay. And by giving excuses, and I get it. White supremacy is evil. I get it. It's done a lot of evil. But at a certain time, men have to be held accountable. You got to look at the numbers and say, hey, you're not marrying the women you're with. You're having children and not getting married. What's going on? It's your fault. As a man, it's your fault. But when you say you give excuses, then that white supremacy, you start losing focus on what it's actually doing. And then you're using it as a crutch. And then the men can't improve because there's nothing wrong with them. It's because evil racism and white supremacy is stopping them from being productive in their community. You know, and I'm not saying this don't exist. I'm not saying there's not racism. There is, okay? But the thing of it is as a man, you got to be held accountable for something. Something's got to be your fault. Because here's the thing. If you're with a woman and you love her and she loves you, what's stopping you from getting married? Is it economics? There are poor people across the world that get married. Okay. I know when I got married, I didn't have no money. Well, I was in the army. I had a little change. But, I made it work. Me and my wife made it work. I was a young soldier and didn't have much. But I had a job and I could build off that. But I could have said, well, I don't have much money. I can't marry you, and just had children and left her alone to raise them. The thing of it is sometimes it's better to have something your fault so you can build on, so you can improve. And I'm sorry, I think a lot of this stuff this guy puts out is propaganda. I think a lot of it is, made up stuff. And I mean, he says the most craziest things. Snow Bunny military operation. What would the government gain from that? I mean, if he's claiming they're doing it to destroy the community, but the way the numbers are, all you got to do is sit back and promote, not getting married, and it'll self-destruct. The problem is when men are not held accountable, everything falls apart. Everything goes by the wayside. And it's true. And the one thing that makes a strong community, and this is my opinion, and you tell me if I'm wrong. What makes a community strong, what makes a group of people strong and successful, the number one thing is, it's not how much money you got. It's not how, everything going your way. The one thing that makes a community successful is how we treat our women. The women in our community, how we treat them, God will hold us accountable. Either we're going to have a blessing or a curse, depending on how we treat the women in our community. Serious. If nothing else, we got to, protect the women in our community. We got to, treat them right with respect, because they're our wives, they're our mothers, they're the mothers of our children. And us as men need to protect women, all races of women, whether they live in your community or not. We should just protect women. That's what men were designed to do. It's not because she looks like me, I protect her. And the one that don't look like me, I just don't care about. Come on. He says he's out to protect black women. But by telling them that not to date out, not giving any statistics or anything showing why he thinks it's bad, it's like going in on Ralph Richard Banks when he said, black women, it's time to open up the options, right? Because he looked at the numbers, he studied it, and logically it makes sense. And the guy's not married to a white woman or nothing like that. His wife's black. And I think that blew Umar's mind that, a black man married to a black woman would do that. But you know what? It's necessary for women to find a husband, for us as society, to survive. And when I say society, that includes both black and white and everybody else. Because truth be told, we're stuck together. Truth be told, we can hate each other as much as we want, but it's not going to do no good. Like I said in my last video, united we stand, divided we fall. And that is so true. And this propaganda of us being separated, segregated, it's only going to destroy us as a nation. And nobody will win in that. We'll all be losers. Black, white, and everybody else. The only way to win is come together God's way. And treat each other like brother and sister. Love each other like brother and sister. And yes, you can. Mr. Doctor of Delusion, he made a video I seen earlier saying that all white people are racist. He had 11 reasons why. And to me is crap. It's like, but if we start believing that, then there'll be hate and animosity. I thought being racist is doing something racist. I thought being racist was hating somebody that was a different race. I didn't know just being white makes you automatically racist. I did not know that. But Dr. Umar educated me on this. Even though you didn't do nothing racist, you're just actually racist. Okay. But a lot of stuff he says I disagree with. But the bottom line is we need to love each other. And you know what? The Avalanche is coming. There's not just snow bunnies out there. There's snowmen out there too. And you know what? A lot of us white men are looking at black women right now, and we're seeing, how successful black women are doing. We're seeing how beautiful they are. We're seeing awesome women. And you know what? We're starting to open our eyes and see a blessing out there. I did it long ago. But now more are doing it. Marriages are increasing. And you know why? Interracial relationships with black women, white men are the longest lasting, the most successful. I'll give you several reasons. Okay? Because those of us that pursue black women love black women. And black women are the most loving, the most nurturing, the most successful, the most educated. They are the best mothers and wives. And people will try to debate me on this. But when black women are shown love and treated the way they should be, they're the best of the best. It's just unfortunately in the black community that black women are outnumbered. It's just unfortunate that the men in the black community date and marry out twice as much as black women do. And it's unfortunate that black women are shamed for opening up their options. With those conditions, how can you have successful relationships? Because when men outnumber the women, guess what? You're going to do what we want because we got you. I've seen videos of black men saying, we got black women. We can do whatever we want. We got them. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't leaving. I've seen it. Is it true? Some black women it is. I've seen black women growing up in high school still not married. They refused to open up those options. They were loyal, ride and die for the black man. And that's fine. I got nothing against that. That's, hey, you go where you want to go. You go Be with who you love. But there comes a time when, ladies, you got to figure out what's the best option for you and for your future children. I think we all ought to get beyond the race, the color issue, okay? And we need to find people that love us and care for us, both men and women. And we need to go for the best option. And we need to stop living for the collective and start living for the individual. I saw a thing on today, a video on what was it, Fox Soul. They were talking about this. I just briefly got part of it, and they're talking about this black woman. She's a model. She's dark complected, and she opened up her options. And they were talking about her, and they're saying, well, she's still pro-black, but nobody's talking to her, nobody's coming for her, so she has to open up her options. And it made me think. I'm thinking, wow, okay, so maybe that's true. Maybe she ain't getting a lot of love from black men, so maybe she opened up her options. Okay, but does she have to prove she's pro-black to do that? Does she need permission? What would you guys think of me? Okay, you know me, my situation. I've been married to a black woman 28 years. What if I told you that, in the white community, Becky really ain't checking for us. She really wants the men in our community that have blonde hair and blue eyes. Because that's a preference. And believe it or not, a lot of times that is a preference with white people. Blonde hair and blue eyes, some people have preference because of traits. And there are white people that want blonde hair and blue eyes, both men and women. There is a privilege too when it comes to the white community, right? But anyway, what if I told you the reason I opened up my option is because Becky didn't want to be with me because, I have dark hair and brown eyes, and she just don't, I don't have the blonde hair and blue eyes that everybody's looking for. I mean, but I'm still pro-white. I just had to open up my options. How would that sound? I tried to switch it around, and I'm like thinking, what would you think of me if I said I'm pro-white, but I had to open up my options? Would you think I was crazy and weird? Because I think black people, they say they're pro-black. It's like, oh, good. They love, their people. They love the community and stuff. But if I say I'm pro-white, what would you think? Racism, right? White supremacy. Listen, I'm not pro-white. I'm not. I'm a white man, yes. That's what I am. I'm pro-American, yes. What I am pro is being around people that love me, that I love. That's where my proness is. I do not worship white people. I don't worship white skin or features of white people. That just our genetic makeup. That's what makes us look what we look like. That's all it is. The true character of a person comes from the heart, not from what these features are. This means nothing. This just determines what I look like. Yeah, I'm pro-love. Pro-love. What color is pro-love? Some would say no color. I say all colors. We know we're black, we're white, or whatever. We know this. That's not a bad thing. As long as we love each other the right way. But I'm pro-love. I mean, and in my humble opinion, I wish everybody was like that. to where we just accepted each other and didn't care what color we came from, what color we are, or what continent we come from, or, you know, truth be told, we started out Adam and Eve, first man and woman. We're all descendants of Adam and Eve, are we not? After the flood, and I'm talking religion, okay, but after the flood, who was left? Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives. And we're all descendants of Noah and his wife. All people on this earth today. We're the same race. Yeah, you know why they link us in race and different things? To separate us, to keep us apart from each other, to make one group think they're better than the other. That's what it was designed to do. Back in history, we have a horrible, evil history, right? In America. Well, beyond America, it's evil. Think about it. We talk about slavery in America and how horrible that was, right? But it didn't start in America. If you go to the Bible and you read Exodus, when the Egyptians enslaved the children of God, that was way before America was even thought of. And you know what? All countries participated in this thing. All nations did. Men are evil. Men are sinful. And if we looked at it for what it is and what happened and move forward, I'm not saying forget it and never talk about it. What I'm saying is men are evil. But we could start now and love each other right now. We can make it right now. It's up to you. Nobody can control you but you. White supremacy can't control you, ladies and gentlemen. No group of people can unless you let them. Because you're in control of this and this. And the choices you make will cause a blessing or a curse. It's your choice. The decisions you make will curse or bless your children. The Bible tells us this. Okay, I don't want to get preaching. I wasn't planning on going into the Bible, but what I'm saying is we're people. We all want to be loved. We all, want somebody to love us. We all want to be looked up at. And but we got to look at reality, and we got to hold people accountable. If I can't be accountable, I can't say nothing to my wife and children if they do wrong. And you know what? We need to all open up our options. Because who knows who you will meet that will love you. And ladies, the doors are wide open. There are men in all groups that love you. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, they're there. The problem is we're too afraid to step out of our comfort zone and get to know other people. We're too afraid that we'll be rejected from that other group. Back in the day when I was dating, when I was a teenager, I was afraid black women would kick me to the curb and make me look so stupid. And you know what? There were some that made me feel that way, and I got some rejection, yes. But you know what? I got a blessing along the way, along the journey. And I got to see with my own eyes from the age of 5 to 53 how awesome and beautiful black women are. How much of a blessing they are. But I would have never known that if I didn't have the courage to approach a black woman and have the strength to pull myself up off the ground after I was rejected and move forward. And you know what? I've never had hate for anybody that rejected me. I wasn't happy about it. My feelings were hurt. But you know what? It taught me a lesson on life. That if you want something, you got to continue to go after it. And if you truly love somebody, you will love them regardless of how they treat you. But we're seeing a blessing and we should embrace it. And if you're in an interracial relationship, whether you're man or woman, black or white, you need to think about this. Because I know it's going to be tough and I know people will not like it. I know people will attack you. People will make fun of you. People will shame you. But is the love you have for that person worth going through all that? Because I tell you, through my 28-year marriage, I've had people go in on me. I've had people attack me. My wife has went through it too. But you know what? Our love is so strong that they can't even touch our marriage. They can't even, in fact, when they try, they make our bond stronger. Because we get a chance to show, I get a chance to show how much I love my wife. And she gets a chance, more chances to show how much she loves me. But our love has always been stronger than our problems, always been stronger than our family, friends, society. It will not be destroyed. And that avalanche is coming. And it's a blessing. Okay. When I say avalanche, okay, Mr. Umar talks about the snow bunny crisis. I talk about the avalanche of blessings coming off that mountain, starting with the small flake of snow rolling till a little ball, till it gets bigger and bigger. That's how an avalanche starts. Starts with a little tiny snowball, builds up and gets bigger. It's way down. And then you have an avalanche, and then everything's covered. That's the way interracial marriages are going to happen, especially black women, white men. Because you know what? Black women are tired of it. And us as black men are black men, sorry. I mean, white men, sorry. But seriously, black women have gotten tired of it. And us as white men, we're tired too. You know what? And we want to go where we want to go. And you know what? We can have that. We can have that relationship. We can have that great marriage. And you know what? We can change the world. We can change our communities. Because see, separation is not the answer. It never was and never will be. And they knew when they were fighting for integration, they knew, the civil rights leaders, they knew the way to have a chance of equal opportunity wasn't separation, it was coming together. Because if we're in the same community, we have the same resources. If we're in the same community, we have love for each other. There's still going to be problems, of course. But it blows my mind in today's world that we would have people that want segregation. What does Umar Johnson think he's going to get by separating us? Does he think black people are going to be stronger when they're just with black people? There's white people on the other side that want segregation, that think we'll be stronger just white people together. I call BS on both sides. I think us all coming together is where we gain our real strength. Being separate, we're just going to have animosity, and we're going to compete for resources between the two groups. And guess who's going to win? It's going to be the group that has the majority. I mean, honestly, no matter how good the intentions, no matter what laws they put in, but if we're together, guess what? We're together. We get to know about each other. We get to find the best option for marriage. You know what? Many times it won't look like you. I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm going to open up this panel. If you guys want to talk about this. But my thing on this today is we're headed for integration. We've been integrating. We're going to integrate even more. We're going to have more interracial relationships, more interracial marriages, more biracial children. It's coming. And you cannot stop it. You cannot stop what Umar calls the snow bunny crisis. Because there are black men that love white women. There are us white guys that love black women. You're not going to stop it. The best thing we can do is love each other and do it the right way. And I would tell everybody here, you want to interracially date, swirl to investment. If you don't know what swirl to investment means, it means interracial date to marriage. And people have told me when I changed the name of my channel to Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, because it used to be just Roadrunner 89, then I put network, then investment network. The reason I put investment network is because the most important investment you'll ever make is a marriage. You get that wrong and you can forget being happy. You can forget your finances. You can forget all that good stuff, right? You choose the right wife, you'll have it all. Ladies, you get the right husband, you'll have it all. And you might not be a millionaire, you might not be rich, but you'll have true love. And guess what? You'll have protection. You'll have a man that provides for you. And guys, you'll have that woman that's got your back, that loves you. That will have your back when you got a rough day or you're going through some things. She's got you. And you know what? You're protecting her because she's your treasure. She is. And if you guys ever read the Bible, it always talks about how much a treasure a good woman is. A virtuous woman is worth more than precious rubies and stones. Who's the prize here? But you do what you're supposed to as a man, God will give you that prize. Okay? And that woman is special. She's beautiful. And having a good wife is something you cannot buy. It's something you cannot earn. It's something that's got to come straight from God himself. But once you got it, cherish her, protect her, cherish her, protect her. And let her know that she's still beautiful. Let her know you still love her. She knows it, but tell her. She likes to hear it once in a while. I tell my wife I love her every day. She never tells me, stop saying that. You said that yesterday. You said that an hour ago. No, she says, oh, tell me more. Okay. We could do this all night. But I love my wife. That's too easy. But anyway, I'm going to put the link up here. If you guys want to come up, you can. I'm not going to keep this too late. But I wanted to put Umar's video, a little bit of it, because he's trying to discourage black women, telling you the grass is not greener on the other side. Well, sometimes it is greener on the other side. If you look at marriage stats, you know what? Some women need to go to the other side. And truth be told, you know what? The grass was greener on the other side of the hill for me also. And you know what? Nobody told me I needed to get with a black woman. Nobody told me how beautiful and how amazing black women are. Nobody told me the benefits I would have marrying a black woman. Nobody told me that. Nobody encouraged that. But I'd figured it out somehow. And it started with one babysitter that showed me a little love, and it took off from there. That was a seed planted that opened up my eyes like no other. And you know what? Nobody's got a marriage like I do. I mean, I believe that. I look at my family. My marriage has lasted more than other marriages in my family. Why? Because me and my wife, we got together the right way. We did it the right way. You know, and I could see truth. But what if I was taught that I need to stay in my own community with my own racial group? I think my life would be a disaster. And I'm not saying nothing about white women. I'm not attacking white women. I'm just saying I was meant to be with a black woman. I was. You can't tell me that I wasn't. If you looked at my life and you seen how it started and how it ended, you'd say, yeah, that makes sense. But there were many people that told my wife, do not marry him. It won't work. It'll be a disaster. He don't really love you. It's just lust. There were people that told my wife that tried to talk her out of it because they didn't want her to get hurt. There were people that tried to talk me out of marrying my wife because they said, oh, it ain't going to last. Those interracial things don't work. Yeah, right. Yes, they do. And guess what? 28 years later, still going strong. So, anyway. But I mean, it's your choice. It's your life. If you want to be race loyal, and I'm not saying hate your race, don't hate it. Just you can love each other and go where you feel loved. Go where you're celebrated. I'm gonna put the link up here. Did I put it up earlier? Kind of. And I'm sorry, guys, I was late tonight. I am. I just Oh, hey, Afro Angelique, how's it going? Can you hear me? Okay. Afro Angelique, how's it going? Okay. All right. I think there's some audio issues. She's up here. Hey, you guys, can you hear me okay? I'm pretty sure. Oh, you have a late class. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm late. I am. I really am.
Hello?
Afro Angelique.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear
Oh,
me?
okay. Yeah, welcome.
Hi. Um, you can hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that show. I was so tired I slept through. I wasn't awake when you did your show yesterday, but I listened to it, and it was really good for prayer
Oh,
meeting.
well, thanks. It's good to see you. Uh,
Good to see you too. Hey, Triple P.
hey, Triple P, how you doing, young lady? Triple P. Uh-oh.
She's
Oh,
oh, okay.
oh. Okay, let me put the link back up there. I don't know. Sometimes the StreamYard, I don't know.
I don't know. You know what? I think it is because whenever I'm not on Streamyard, I don't have issues with my mic.
Huh. I wonder if I should use another broadcasting thing. Maybe I should try Melon because I've done that a couple times. Maybe I should go to that. Maybe that would be a better quality. Because I've had a lot of people kicked off and audio's not working and weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's sometimes I can't say because it's only been recently, and I think it just depends on the platform that I'm using at that point.
Yeah, maybe they just don't like mine, so they give me problems.
They should love you as much as you use this platform.
I know, right?
Yes.
Hey, Triple P.
Hey,
All right,
I'm
good.
on my cell phone tonight and it's tripping
Oh,
already.
okay. Yeah, cell phones sometimes. I cell phones sometimes I get on and it works beautifully, and then other times it kicks me off and and throws me in the comments, and then I'm off, and then I mean, there's sometimes I could use my cell phone and go on live and talk and actually go to the comments and bounce back.
Oh,
But
okay.
other times I can't even get on. There was
I
one
don't
night
know. It's probably some with the network service.
Could be.
yeah, maybe a server somewhere or the internet's choppy somewhere. I don't know. Michael Ray, take cover. Snow Bunny attack is coming through. Um, hey, you don't want to mess with Special Agent Becky Poppins. I tell you what, she'll crush you.
Foolishness.
I mean, she's got hair like a snow bunny, eyes as blue as water, and uh, a physique like Arnold. You just can't. No,
I,
but
I'm Look. I'm just happy that Black women are waking up to opening up their options because it's a whole new world out there.
yeah, and you know what? And I get so upset at the propaganda. There's nothing I can do about it. People have free speech, but when you tell women that this group of men are just so horrible that and then when they go out and you shame them and then you're doing it 2 to 3 times what they are, that that to me is so wrong. It's like, well, what's she supposed to do? And if you look at it logically, if there's a lot more women than men, what do the women do? Just hope they get chosen? And if they
Yeah,
don't, oh, well, sorry for you. Grow old alone. I mean, seriously.
they want you to
I,
wait forever for them to make up their mind.
yeah, well, I mean, women ain't here to wait for you to make up your mind. You either love her and you're going to marry her, or you're not. And if you're not, step aside so another man can do it. That's That's what I tell people. You're against interracial marriage? Okay, are you married? No. Well, step aside because you know what? God wants men and women to get married. He wants us to have families. And we need to do that. It will be better. Huh?
God wants us to love one another no matter the color. So I don't understand why we can't get past that color thing. I mean, great there. I mean, granted, there are a lot of issues that are having from it, but the thing about it is that once you start walking in love, it becomes a much better thing.
Yeah. And you know what? And you know, I hear Umar and he says, and he speaks truth about these two guys. Okay, they didn't have a good relationship, but he uses that as an example to show women, hey, don't do it. It's not greener on the other side. Well, okay, that's two individuals. There's millions of people. Why don't you look at statistically? Why don't you look at the data and see what's really going on with a group of people instead of a couple individuals? Because I could go in any racial group and pull out some horrible situation.
Brent, that is too much like right for them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because if I say, okay, I don't know, there's no logic. It's just like, hey, here's a bad example. Look, you'll end up like that. Okay, those are two individuals. What about the rest of the world? What about the rest of the country? What's going on there?
And what I don't get is he hasn't presented a solution for the millions of black women that outnumber the millions of black men. So since every black woman can't have her own black man, what is your solution? Because he hasn't come up with one.
Yeah. I haven't heard one.
So if you don't have a solution to the problem, then you are the problem.
Yeah. And the only thing I've heard people that have solutions for that, but they say polygamy. And
I'm not sharing my man with nobody. You better get over that.
I mean, that's not going to work. I mean,
Heifer, you better get on. I am not sharing. No,
exactly. I'm way too selfish for that. I'm too possessive for that as my man. And we doing things together, not you and somebody else. You better go somewhere with that foolishness.
Yeah.
You ain't watching nothing.
Akita says polyandry.
You can try that stuff. You can try that stuff with the white women, but don't bring that over here.
Yeah, well, there might be some Beckys that go for it. I don't know.
Well, you got to live in Utah for that.
Yeah, you know what? That truth be told, yeah, there's a lot of white people into that stuff.
There's a lot of black people into that stuff too that I know of, and I'm just all like, really? How?
I can't do it.
I don't. You know what? That would create so many problems. How could you? How could you make all your wives happy? There would be jealousy in there. There would be anger. There'd be a lot of emotions in that.
There would be no such thing as a peaceful household.
No, because you'd have, and I don't know. I mean, how much time do you spend with each wife? I mean, I don't know. It just makes no sense.
Look, you got Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, and somebody else got the weekends.
Yeah, and then you're exhausted after that.
No days off.
I've worked with quite a few black women. So there were women, and I would ask them, do y'all fight? They don't fight. They take care of each other's kids. They just maintain the household. Some of them worked, some of them did not. So they had it down to a science, I guess. And I'm like, how? Because somebody gonna get cut.
Eventually, yes.
And I guess they've been doing it for years, but
somebody got to be favorite.
You know what? Though? I've seen documentaries on that stuff where the children that come out of those polygamous families want out of it. You know, it just
It's
it's. Go ahead.
well, I mean, that's like that show they had on TLC where he had like 3 wives or something, and then it got so bad because he eventually only wanted the last one that he married, and one of them got divorced, and it was just like a hot mess.
Well, yeah, because you know what? Here's the thing. The reason it needs to be one man, one woman is because you're going to have problems with that. You're going to always favor one over the other. If you're a man and you have 3 wives, you're going to favor one over the other 2. And if it went the other way, it would be the same thing. You just are. It's human nature. You cannot, you just. And there have been situations where, if you study it, it's turned into a hot mess. There's been affairs where guys had 2 women, and there's been stories where the 2 women run off together and leave the guy alone. Or, it just never works. It's not godly. It's not right. You look at the Bible, you look at David, he had problems because of women. His downfall was women. Lusting after Bathsheba, another man's wife, and that destroyed his family, and he could never build the temple because of that. And then his son had a problem with women, 500 wives and concubines. You can't. How? I know he was the richest man in the East and the king of Israel, but how can you? I just can't imagine that many women to deal with. I mean. And that's why we need one wife, one husband, one wife.
I think if God wanted marriages to be polyamorous, then he would have put Adam to sleep and took two ribs instead of one. But he only took one.
Or 3 or 4.
Yeah, so he only took one. So that clearly states that God believes that marriage is for one man and one woman.
Yeah, the original husband and wife.
Adam and all those children making all that noise and all those attitudes. I just can't do it. I'm just like, somebody got to leave. All of y'all leave. Just all of y'all go home.
Y'all got to go somewhere. Y'all got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Little children, take your mama with you. Bye.
Yeah, can you imagine that? I mean, it's tough enough with your own kids having to deal with other people's kids too. Oh man.
And then if you don't have people that have the right spirit, and then they put in that bad spirit in their kids, and it's spread, and that's too much. Too much drama.
Hey, this is so true. I whipped cold cream. He said 2 is one flesh. Genesis, yeah. So we come together as one too. It don't say one man and 20 wives come together as one.
Exactly. If God wanted a man to have multiple wives, he would have gave him multiple wives in the beginning, and he didn't. So
he would make it to where it works without any issues. I mean, you could force people into it, I guess, brainwash people to get them to do it, but it's not meant to be.
No. And they don't really work out very well either. Because
now, I don't know how they do it. They still do it in some parts of Africa, in some countries. Because I just saw a law was passed that made it legal. And the women were behind it. I guess some of them were saying that they like it when he's not there and they have their time.
But see, like they do that in the Middle East, and they do some parts of Africa. But it's like, I think in the Middle East, you have to have enough money to treat the rest of your wives like your first wife.
Just give me
Yeah.
the multi-million-dollar account and be on your way. I'll see you next month.
Yeah,
But if you marry him for his money, then that's what you're gonna get, because you ain't gonna get him.
Yeah.
I'll see you when you come through.
But like, oh, we got once a month privileges. All right, it's all good. Let's go.
Yeah, then it would just be for the money, and then maybe fulfill a urge every once in a while. Hey, well, I need you. Okay, well, I'm done with you. Go on. I guess that's the only way that would work.
You would have to not be attached to that person, and you would have to treat that like a business transaction.
Yeah.
And then at that point, even though you're a wife, you still high price whatchamacface. So
yeah, I don't see how that would really work. I mean,
nobody's going to be emotionally fulfilled in that situation.
No, because you're going
Mm-hmm.
want to be with that person.
Uh-oh. Is that the secret agent?
Sorry, hold on.
That's the secret agent. Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Sandy just came in, so I was that was the doorbell.
I thought somebody's gonna stop by again to tell you.
Oh yeah. No, gosh, yeah. I'm having flashbacks. The Snow Bunny Brigade's coming in on me, and they're not playing. You know, they really want to get to Umar, because that's the prize. Once they get him, then mission accomplished. But me, I'm just, they're trying to turn me into a Snow Bunny snitch, and I'm fighting it though. I haven't given in yet. I don't know how long I can hold off, but
I don't even know what it is about him, because look, we can't find out where he got his PhD from. We can't verify it if he's actually married. We can't. It's like so many aspects of his life that just don't add up. But he's supposed to be.
Where is this school? Where is this school? I know so many Black men that have started schools, and they're very successful. And they have students that graduate and go off to college.
Ivy League colleges.
Number of them, but I'm just like, where is let me see your record. What's the address? What am I donating to?
Like, show me the receipts.
Is your school like LeBron James? Why don't you connect with LeBron James so he can help you with your school?
Or maybe even the people that created that school in Harlem for Black boys.
Oh yeah. Well, he does do videos in front of this building a lot. Is that his school?
It's somebody's building, but it ain't his. I can guarantee you that.
Well, yeah, it's weird. You're right though. I tried to look up this guy because, see, my thing is I don't want to spend too many lives on Umar. I really don't, but I think somebody has to challenge this guy. Somebody needs to stand up to him, because what he's saying, a lot of it's lies. A lot of it's made up stuff. It's like propaganda fantasy. And it just seems like a brainwashing technique. He says it three times, like I just did. But
maybe he's trying to convince himself, because it ain't convincing me.
It ain't convincing me either. It just makes me think, what is wrong with him? He got to repeat it 3 times.
Well, why is he yelling all the time? And what is he angry about? Like, because we don't donate to him, to his cause? He doesn't get enough attention.
Nobody respects him.
You got to respect is earned. You got to carry yourself in a respectable manner. I'm sorry. He doesn't even look like he bathed.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've tried to research this guy. I know he's the guy. he's got like 118,000 subscribers on YouTube. And from what I looked up, 118,000. He's been on TV shows. You guys seen him on The Breakfast Club. You see, he goes around. He's went around the country doing speeches, and he's only got 100 and some subscribers. He should be in the millions. I mean, 118,000. To me, that's like been all over the world, and that's all you got. I mean. But I think a lot of people aren't buying into his propaganda.
Because it's straight foolishness.
It's
even if you just
may not
go
have
by the numbers of what he.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm sorry. Even if you just go by the numbers of what he's talking about, it makes no sense. So statistically, anything that he's talking about doesn't actually make any sense. So until he can. And the thing about it is that he never brings any kind of data. He just throws stuff out there. And so when you're doing stuff like that, how can anybody take you seriously?
You know that you can buy numbers or subscribers. You can buy it and it look like you have all those subscribers.
Oh,
you know
that's what I'm doing wrong. How much they cost? No, I heard about that. Can you really? I guess you can pay somebody to watch you, but that's...
No, you can pay to have it manipulate. And YouTube was busting people last year.
Oh, okay.
Because people were buying like 1,000 subscribers so they can be monetized.
Oh, they could be sued. You know, they could be sued for that because that's like a breach of contract with YouTube because
that's why they were getting busted.
Yeah, when you get monetized, it's like a contract, like you know, because the ads and stuff that go on your videos and stuff, you know, it's a partnership program, and if you you know get there with not, because see, you're kind of ripping off YouTube that way. Because you don't have the subscribers, you're not getting the views, so it's like and I'm sure it builds your algorithm really good too to have, you know, those fake subscribers. I don't know.
And then you can have the ones that actually watch you, the few who are real person, to give you what is it? You can buy like a super chat and all that other kind of stuff. So you can make money, but you can get a check, you know, whenever YouTube pays out.
Yeah.
Because I was on a channel about 2 years ago that they ended up getting shut down because they had bought subscribers.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that because they could sue you because if they're paying you money for something that ain't there, that's yeah.
Whatever's done in the dark will come to the light.
Yep.
Yes, it does, because they are searching now. I mean, they're getting tighter and they're having more restrictions.
Yeah, I think
foolishness out here.
Wow, you have to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscriptions.
Yeah. 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get over 1,000, you can get monetized.
Yeah. And then what it is, and it's not a lot of money. People think get monetized, you're gonna make all this money. No, it's like it's not that much. I'm telling you. And I'll share this with you guys. On an average, as many videos and lives as I do, on an average, I probably get about $113 a month. You know, I have had good months. The most I made is 600 in 1 month, but that I got a bunch of views. One of my videos just took off. Yeah, but usually it's not that much. $100 and some, and you know I put a lot of work to get that that $100. So, and a lot of it's with super chats added. So it's not that much money. It isn't. Unless you're one of these big YouTubers that got, 100,000
Cost to
subscribers.
pay.
Yeah, they make money. They make a lot of money. But like channels like mine, I don't make that much. Not at all. But that's fine. I'm not here to make money. I just love doing this. I just enjoy talking to people and doing videos and giving my opinion and digging
And,
into the issues and sharing my life story.
and Brent, we love you for it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and that's how I get paid, is the love you guys show me, and just showing you guys love, and just having a good time. This is a hobby. This, but I mean, it's fun, and you make some pocket change, but you're not going to get rich doing it unless you're one of these YouTubers that are big, and some people are talented for this. Some people are such good entertainers. They get a lot of views, they get a lot of subscribers, and and that's great. But most people don't. Most people, get a few here and there, and they're just with their group that they like to talk to. I've seen YouTube channels where people got a few hundred and been there for years. But they just enjoy talking to their people, talking about their, what's going on in their world, and that's like me. I just talk to you ladies, and we're in the interracial community, and we talk about interracial marriage and some of the stuff we go through, the issues of the day, and I enjoy doing that.
Yeah. The thing about it is that your rewards are not monetary. Your rewards are coming from the people that are finding each other on your channel, and the people that are opening themselves, people that had not thought about dating interracially, opening themselves up to date interracially.
Because I never found nobody on your channel. I don't know what happened with you.
What's that?
You have your look. Is this your first look? Your first wedding was with Triple P, right?
Yeah.
See, so you've inadvertently introduced people that have gotten married, introduced people that have made new friends, introduced people that are may have possibly met their future wife. So what you're getting paid in is love, and not money.
Yeah, that's it. And that's
and
my motivation.
Relatives.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's what it's about for me. It's that's where I get paid. That I love doing it. It's neat. It's fun. And you know what? What helps me keep going is I don't have to make money. I don't even really look at it. I see it. Okay, good. I got a few bucks. Okay, Sandy, you want to go out to dinner? Okay, that's about it. But the reward is talking to you ladies, to you guys, getting to know you guys, talking across the country. And that's to me is a beautiful thing. That to me is neat. And you know what? We all have an influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can reach people. And I want to share my story. I want, black women to know that, hey, there's guys like me that love you. A lot of guys like me that love you. And I want to share my story. I started dating in 85. And black women was my choice. And you know what? I've been blessed along the way. And I want to share that story. Nobody talks about that. They just talk about, okay, we're different cultures, racism and all this, and it ain't going to work. And I'm like, no, that ain't true. It can work. And my situation did work. And it's still working. And you know what? And I want to encourage people, get to know that person, because I know a lot of people that dated interracially and they broke it off because outside influence, and now they're kicking themselves today. Both black women and white men. There's so many I know in that situation, and it's sad. And I want to be a positive voice on that. You know, because if you find true love, who cares what you look like? I mean, seriously. You
Yeah.
know, but
There's a lot of people that are superficial. They just look at the outside and they never get to know the person on the inside or the benefit of that relationship because they stuck on the outside and without thinking that at any moment that can change. Your appearance can
Mhm.
change. It can happen, and then that person may not look good on the outside, but they still have a good heart.
Mhm.
And some people will date not even knowing who they are. And when you don't know who you are and you start making yourself an image of the person that you want to that you think you want to be with, you'll wake up one day and not and you'll just be you won't know anything and you'll be in a place that you don't even think you would ever be in. So we have to be careful about who we date and knowing that we are in our right minds as well as a point of healing, because if you haven't healed from any trauma or drama that is in your life, then you will just bring that over, and when you do that, you taint what could have been the best thing that ever happened to you.
yeah. And I think a lot of people do this when they date and look for someone to marry. They're doing what they think looks good on paper, I think.
Yeah, they have a checklist and you're like, okay, meets that checklist, meets that.
Hmm.
They have an idea of what they think that they want, not realizing what they want, it may not necessarily be what they need.
Yeah.
Because, there's certain things that you might need, you might need somebody to be like, no, you need to sit your butt down and think about what you're doing. You might not want to hear it, but you might need somebody to say it to you.
Well, I don't need that. I just need to have my way all the time.
I'm quite sure Sandy lets you have your way all the time.
uh, yeah. Uh, while we're on YouTube, we're going to go with that. Okay. Yeah.
Because we have another interview that will definitely come out.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'll go with it till she comes on, and then we'll feed my ego till she comes on, and at least I'll be like, yeah,
You were king of the castle while you were on.
yeah. That was funny though when we did that when you interviewed us. I was like, I didn't know this stuff was going on. Like, no, but it was good. It was good though.
It was such a great conversation. I just came up to, I was like, let me ask you these two questions. And it just turned into a conversation.
Yeah, and that was a fun night. That was awesome. I'm going to we're going to come on probably the middle of the month sometime.
Okay.
Middle of September. We got a couple ideas for some shows we want to do. But yeah.
I'm gonna email you, Brent, because I want to get together with you and Sandy.
Okay.
With in person. So I don't know when you're going to be in Texas, but definitely
Okay.
need to have a conversation with us four.
Okay. We can do what you call it. We could do a private stream. We could do that on StreamYards, or we could do what is that other one thing you can do? Zoom. Yeah, we could do a Zoom meeting just between us and talk. We could do that. If you want to talk to us before we get to Texas, I mean, we can do that. Yeah, and we could just
When
talk.
Texas,
Talk.
it'll be wonderful.
Huh?
When you get to Texas, it'll be wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll have a good time. But if you guys want to, if you want to do a Zoom between us four, we can. most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. What's that?
y'all should definitely hang out and have dinner and meet each other or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course.
I have
No, we're
that.
going. No, we're going to come in. Okay, congratulations. Here's your wedding gift. Bye. See ya.
You didn't leave.
Nah, no, we'll spend a couple days there and stuff.
Yeah, y'all have to have a little special tribute. It's like if it wasn't for Brent, we would have never met.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
we
you.
already got a plan. Oh, yes, we do.
Cool. Now,
Yeah,
my
Mhm.
my two favorite shows this year is the one that you guys that Brent, you and Sandy did when you interviewed the other couple.
oh yeah,
I love that couple.
That
yeah.
was
That was a
so
good show.
awesome. It was so informative. It's just like two couples on the show that were couple goals. Cause it's like the way he looked at her, even as long as they've been together, it was just like, I want to love like that.
Yeah, that was a good show. They were married 58 years, longer than me and Sandy were alive. I was like, wow. I mean, I was like, I was, bragging about 28 years, and you got 58. Oh man, gosh. It was cool though. But the amazing thing is you could tell they love each other, and you could tell they had character.
They
And
had chemistry
I
with each
love
other.
how she said make him laugh every day, at least once a day.
yeah, and what he said was, you know, what was amazing, because he says, well, because we were talking about interracial, and I guess their daughter's married to a white guy that's Irish or something, and they they didn't have a problem with who he was. Um, what his concern was, he's like, okay, what's this guy like? What kind of family does he come from? And what he meant, like, what kind of character does his family have? Or does he come from a married family? Do they have moral structure? And you got to look at that, because a lot of times how you turn out is how you've been taught by your parents. You know,
Mhm.
not always. I mean, you could get great parents and horrible kids, and you can get horrible parents and great kids. I mean, it could go either way, but usually, rule of thumb, it's usually, if your parents are pretty good, your kids are going to be pretty good usually. But he described what he was looking at, and he was strategic when it came to his daughter. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of us as parents these days don't really look into that. It's like, okay, you're an adult, it's your life, whatever. No, a father needs to be involved in his children's life, and
Mhm.
he was, and you could tell. And and I think we need to go back to the old days when it wasn't called dating; it was called courting. When
Yes,
uh, when you
yes.
had to approach the father and explain, why do you want to date his
Oh,
daughter?
I
Like
want that so bad.
that, it should be that way. If you want to date
Yeah.
my daughter, you tell me why. Okay, I'm waiting.
That would
Well,
eliminate so many because they wouldn't even
yeah,
want to do it.
yeah. It'd be, well, she's pretty and I like her. Okay, yeah, I get that. What else? Do you have a job, sir? Well, not yet. I'm getting some stuff together. Yeah.
See what had
I
happened
I
was
I just quit my job at Burger King because the boss told me my haircut was ugly. So okay, well, what do you got planned after that? Did you go get another job? Are you looking? Well, I like to sleep in on the weekends, and well, you laugh, but people are like that.
oh my goodness. I can't even fathom that. Oh shoot. And then
Yeah,
somebody
I need-
you
Huh?
what?
Go ahead.
No, you go. You said something. I didn't hear you.
No, I said I know when someone gets here to Texas, they're about to get grilled.
There you go.
My
Got
mom
to
is
grill.
not having it. She's like, "That's my baby," and she is not going anywhere until I say so. I was like, "Okay, mom."
Well, all right then. Look, you know she love you because she trying to vet your man for you.
There you go.
What? Yeah. She's like, "Nah, I don't want to talk to him right now. I'm gonna wait till you get here." I was like, "Oh, okay, mom."
She got to look in his eyes.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Please don't say that. It remind me of someone on YouTube. Look into her eyes.
Who says that?
That troll. Look into her eyes.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Okay.
why are you staring at
All
people's
right.
eyes?
Actually, that can be very intimate if you know done the right way. But ugh.
Yeah,
Now,
there's something about the eyes though.
yeah,
And yeah, if you look into someone's eyes and I mean you could it's weird. You could tell if they're into you or not just looking in their eyes like
yeah, especially if you're looking into their eyes and they start flinching,
yeah, they start
or they can't look into your eyes for an extended period of time.
if they're
Then
not interested, they'll be like, "Really?"
like, why are you looking at me? Why you can't look at me back?
But if you're like I'm not a good actor, but
I mean, because looking into somebody's eyes can be intense.
it can. Yeah.
It can drive you crazy if you stare too long. Like, never mind. I
That
don't want to say nobody's name, but you know.
that too. But like when you're really, really into that person, sometimes it's just like, okay, well, why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? And it's more so, and it's an attraction type stare. So
Yeah.
it has its good points and its bad points.
Or when you're into somebody and you know you get eye contact and you look at them, they look at you, and it's like, oh yeah, and then you turn and then you look again, and it's going back and forth.
Yeah, you got that eye chemistry going on.
Yeah, and then you keep looking.
My thing
I
right
had to
now.
get used to that. That in the beginning of my relationship. Like, why are you staring at me? You know, you're staring intently. Like, okay, are you mad or no?
The
And
response should be because you're beautiful.
mhm.
The eyes are the gateway to the soul.
Yes.
Yep. Oh yeah. Um. Yeah, but you know, but tonight I just want people to be happy. You know what? Go where you're loved. Go where you're celebrated. And you know
Yes.
what? Don't worry. I try to tell people I look at things as an individual. I don't and you know I never got into that collective thing. Okay, and I'm not telling people how to think. This is just me. I always looked at it as an individual because you know because you can love somebody that don't look like you, but you know when we live in the collective, it's like we got to live by other people's rules. Okay, you're this group, so you got to act this way, be with this group, and you got to do this. I just like having the freedom of you know what, I can be attracted to whoever I want to be, love who I want, and you know what, nobody's going to stop me, and it's great. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like
I don't.
the.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just gonna say I like the idea of me thinking for myself, not
Yeah.
a collective.
Yes.
And
So many people have let other people's opinion dictate what
Oh
they
my
do
God.
and who they're with. And the thing about it is, it's okay up to a point if you know that person has your best interest at heart. But most people just
yeah,
want to put their 2 cents and think that they're doing something. And it's like, look, you don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know where none of this stuff is going. So I need you to keep your opinions to yourself and be strong enough to tell people to keep their opinions to themselves, because not everybody has your best interest at heart.
I know I've been telling people that lately because they're like, where did you meet him? And why are you moving over there? And girl, you got to be careful because, he might have you stuck in the basement. And I was like, you're just going to, just by talking to him and all this other kind of stuff, you don't know my relationship because I'm not telling you anything. That's the reason why I'm keeping quiet, because I don't want you there at my wedding causing problems. I don't want you to be in my relationship causing problems.
And
besides, he doesn't have a basement to put me in.
You know what? A lot of times we have a tendency that when we are that we're in a relationship with each other, all people hear is the bad stuff because we're venting when they made us mad. So they don't get to hear necessarily about the good stuff of that person. So whenever you have a problem, then the person is more like, oh, you need to get rid of them. They're no good. Da, 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 da. That's only because they only have one side of the story and only the angry side.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can necessarily take that person's opinion completely seriously either.
I don't. And I don't listen to women who are divorced and bitter. That happened in your relationship doesn't mean that it will happen in mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, if there are warning signs, you must pay attention to them. However, some people are just so bogged down in their own mess that they can't see the forest for the trees. So we have to take everything with a grain of salt. And some people are just so stuck in their own foolishness that they don't want anybody to be happy.
Yeah.
Religiosity is another thing. But I ran across this other phrase is be careful or watch those who are silent during your celebratory season. The ones that never clap for you, the ones that are not happy for you, they're just silent. They don't even want to tell you congratulations.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is there's people like that. I've had I have certain subscribers, right? And there are people that will subscribe to you that don't agree with you at all. They'll subscribe to see what you're saying, just to follow you, to kind of study you, maybe to attack you, or just curious about what you're about. I had this one subscriber, right, and it was some guy, right? And he would come on and say nice things and stuff. And then one night, it was a black guy. And one night he started, because I talked about raising biracial kids. And he came in and started going off saying, well, your half breed kids are confused. They don't love you. They think you're an idiot, and all this crazy, horrible stuff, right?
Wow.
And I was like, and you should stay with your own and this and that. And I said, well, I found somebody that loved me and I got a great family. Can you just be happy for me on that? No, I can't, because it ain't right and this and that. And I'm like, man, I mean, people have hate because of how you're living your life, and I don't even know this person. It was weird. But there are people like that have hate, and those kind of people, you got to be careful, because people like that can be dangerous when it comes to some people are so jealous and so angry and hateful that you being happy, it makes them mad. It makes them angry, and they don't even have to know you. But what you're saying, the silent thing, yeah, watch out for that. And I'm not saying go live in fear. I mean, I've never been attacked for being with my wife. Not physically. I've been attacked, but not physically. But just just be cautious. That's all I'm gonna say.
You have to be aware. Like you also have to be aware of those people that are all and then they're all happy for you or whatever, but they always get that little dig in.
Yes.
Like the backhand comments, and you're just like, oh girl, you look good in that dress, but I probably would look a little bit better. What? What are you talking about? It's like doing that backhanded compliment stuff, and it's just like, you really don't like me, do you? You just don't. Nobody else will tolerate you. You got to be careful of those kind of, and because sometimes they're not that obvious, but they do it in a backhanded sort of way, or they'll talk you up in front of your face, and then in your circle they talk bad about you,
and they don't realize that comes back to you.
Yeah. Amazing thing is, if you ever talk about somebody in your group, it's going to get back to them. Don't think that you're besties with this person you're gossiping with, because when you're gone, guess what? It comes back.
Like, girl, do you know what she said about you?
Yeah.
And I usually say, why are you so comfortable in telling me this? And why were you so comfortable to sit in that conversation?
Yeah.
Oh, and what did you say?
Here's a dig. Here's a dig they can do. Well, I love how he, is real nice to you and he does this nice stuff, but what is he doing over here? That's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Yeah.
My grandmother taught me this phrase: a dog that brings a bone carries a bone.
Yeah.
And why are you so comfortable bringing that back to you?
Yeah.
I just leave it as that, because that means that they got something against you too as well.
Yep. That passive aggressive stuff.
Yeah, saying sarcastic stuff and then just kidding. Yeah, you really won't.
I'm so tired of that, y'all. And most of it came through
Michael Ray, Missouri loves company, misery. Hello. Hey, I've lived in Missouri for a little bit, and it can be misery.
Miserable out there in the Midwest.
Yeah, I don't know. I better stop.
It's just like we are put on this earth to spread love, and most people can't see past their own stuff to want to be a beacon of light to people. So I'm gonna say to you again, Triple P, congratulations, because I know that you deserve all the happiness you're gonna receive.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, because I just don't understand why people are mad that I am getting married. Like,
people are mad?
They're like kind of upset. They're like, okay, and they have those little sly comments, and I'm just like, I don't think that I want to share my wedding announcement. I put it in a church announcement.
Yeah, could it be? Sounds like jealousy to me. Like
the women that are saying that, is it women saying that to you, or is it men?
Women. The men ain't saying nothing. But
are they married?
Yes. And so, yeah.
Happily?
Yeah.
I don't know their marriage. Look, I'm using the phrase, I don't know your life.
Because a lot of people, I'm married to my husband, and then be miserable at home, and then so on the low try to discourage everybody from getting married.
Yeah.
I was like, why y'all don't want me to get married? Okay.
She's not everything. Now she gonna be married too.
And it's like, what church does he go to? He's not one of us. Look. People, especially us, we have a tendency, we don't want to, when we ask about a race, we rub our hand, the top of our hand. Is he,
Look,
Is he
they do
is
one
he
side or the other side. They do the
yeah,
palm or the back of the
do
hand.
the palm, and they do the top of the palm. Is he, does that matter? Girl, you gotta be careful. I hear these things. Oh, you know what? I hear more of black men killing black women than I do hear white men. So it is what it is. And that phrase too has got me through a lot of it. It is what it is.
Exactly. Look, you have to say that because it's otherwise you would lose your mind.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny? You know what we do as white people. I'm going to say in general, because I went through this right when back when I was dating my wife and we were going to get married. It's something, and I think it has to do with white guilt. I'm convinced this is what it is. It's like when my family met my wife, it was like they each had a positive story about black people, a friend they had, and my uncle was talking to my wife about when he was in the army. He had this black friend, and they were close, and this was back in the 50s and 60s, and and everybody would have something like that, and it was weird and bizarre. And my wife looked at me, Sandy looked at me and says, "Am I going to get another black heartwarming story?" And I looked at her and says, "Yeah, you are." And I says,
I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist story, and this is why I have black friends.
That's what I'm talking about, the white guilt thing, because it was like they went overboard to say, and I know they wanted us to feel comfortable, but they went overboard with it. Like, hey, I'm not a racist, and I love you, and you're marrying my nephew, and it's great, and I'm like, oh, I was even like, oh,
it's like I'm not a racist, and here's why.
It was like, yeah, and it's bizarre, but and ladies, you said that black women been conditioned. Us as white people been conditioned too, whether you know it or not. That we're evil. We did evil things in the past, and we're racist, and we're this and that, and it like, I can go and I'll say I'm not a racist because I'm not. I don't do racist things. I don't have that
mentality.
Mentality. It's not in my mind or in my heart. But there's still that white, because we've been told this, and you're going to get uncomfortable when people start talking about racism or slavery, or you don't want to talk about it. Not that you're trying to defend it, or you're not, but it's just because you don't know what to do. Kind of, it's like, how do what do I say? I mean,
you say nothing. Prove it with your actions. Dang.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could just be mature about it and say, you know what happened in the past is evil, yes, and all I could do is just do right by myself. I mean, what else can I do? But we're conditioned, and and it's not healthy. It's really not, and but if we, in a perfect world, we could just come together and just love each other as brother and sister and just be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But
it would also be nice
one of my
for correction. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what did you say?
I mean, I said it would also be nice if you truly believe that you are not a racist or whatever, and you've said something that's off color, and somebody pulls you inside and says, okay, this is not necessarily a good thing to be saying, that you're open to the correction and not get aggressive or angry about it.
Yeah.
Because I had to tell one of my coworkers, she was feeling bad because one of past generations, they own slaves. I was like, were you there? Did you benefit from it? No, not really, because we're rich or anything. Well, why is it still bothering you that that happened in the past? That your family, owned slaves?
Yeah,
I was all like, I don't understand why you still feeling bad about it.
yeah, unless you participated in it, or if you think it was a good idea, yeah, then you should feel bad. But
Yeah, because it's don't feel guilty about something that you haven't done, but do take responsibility for the stuff that you are doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
This is the whole thing is just like people are angry. It's like I didn't do nothing. Why y'all always come? Because you're not even willing to learn. If you were willing to learn, it would be a different
My
thing.
battery is dying. I might fall off.
Okay.
Something charger.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
We love you.
Just in case. There you
yeah,
go.
we love you, and if you drop off, we'll see you soon. And I'll send you an email, and I
I'll
got
send
your
you an email
emails that you sent. And what colors do we need to wear for the wedding?
Just not all black.
Not all black. Okay. So if I wear a suit and my wife wears a dress, something with nice colors, or do you want a certain color? PPP.
PPP? Oh.
Okay. Well, I'll send her an email.
Yes.
Because
I'm sure she.
There's these suits I'm looking at for this occasion, and my wife's got a dress she wants to do, but I want to make sure, if she wants a certain color, we go with that. Or
y'all gonna be coordinated?
Yeah, if she wants us to be coordinated, or
no, just you and Sandy being coordinated, because y'all don't necessarily have to coordinate, but it's so cute when you do.
Oh yeah, we will. Me and Sandy, yeah, that's okay. She dropped out. I guess her battery died.
Yeah.
That's
a good color on you, by the way.
What, blue?
Yes.
Yeah, I like blue. My wife
that
likes
particular shade works for you.
My wife likes me in blue.
So
yeah, and there's a suit. Oh my goodness, it's there's one that's like blue and white, and I don't know. It just looks good. And then there's this one that's like brown and orange, and they're they're bright colors, but they look good though. It's
brown and orange is kind of, it depends on the shade on that one.
No, but this one looks good though. It goes together, and because I like suits that have colors, and I like bright colors, not crazy bright. I'm not talking fluorescent, but like I like lively colors. Like the blue I'm wearing is a bright blue, or sometimes I'll even wear a bright orange. Or I don't like dull color. I don't like it. In suits, I got a black suit and I got a white suit, and
Do you have a pinstripe suit?
Huh?
Do you have a pinstripe suit?
No, not yet.
Something about a man in a pinstripe suit. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, those look good. I was I like those suits. The pinstripe and with the vest inside. I think those look really nice. Like
a man in a 3-piece suit is so attractive. But that's just me. I like seeing a man dressed up. That's just me though.
Yeah.
Triple T back.
Hey, triple P.
I'm back. I got a raggedy phone, and I just can't wait to get rid of it.
Oh, okay. You up for an upgrade yet?
Yes, I am, but I am too cheap. I don't want to make payments. I want to pay it out in full. This one is paid off. So
you're gonna get a new one when you cross the pond.
I hear that they're more expensive over there. So I'll probably ask for another one. Or just buy it. I just got to make sure everything is good. I heard your question. I don't know if you heard my answer because my phone cut off.
No, you as soon as he finished his question, you dropped off.
Yeah.
Please do not wear all black or all white. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we got that. No. But is there is there a theme you want to go with? That a color you, I don't know.
No.
No, just something that looks nice. Nice
Yes.
suit, nice dress.
Yes. No sneakers, and make sure you're fully clothed. Thank you very much.
Oh well, yeah. I wasn't thinking about going streaking in through your wedding.
Well, look,
In the middle of the wedding.
Look, some people think they dressed up even if they booty hanging out. So
Yeah. Or should I wear a T-shirt that's got a suit painted on?
tuxedo shirt.
Yeah, tuxedo shirt.
I'm like, sir, there's the exit. Thank you very much.
You are not dressed appropriately. I need you to exit stage left.
No, you know what? I'm going to be funny. I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to dress like Kip.
And then I'm gonna make you sing the song. I love technology. You see.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God! You're coming with a do rag and bifocals. Love it.
Yes. Oh yeah. The big square 70s glasses that he's wearing. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone have that soft voice.
Oh my
All right, then I'm gonna be LaFonda.
Oh, man.
I can't even with y'all. I can't even.
I was like, wasn't that woman like 6'3" or something? She was.
He didn't even come up to her shoulder.
Yeah, I was like, or either he was real little. I don't know, but it just looked weird. Like
that's why I said I can't have no short men. Be like, you can't. You're not tall enough to ride this ride. So
now, see, if I was Kip, I would have just put on a nice suit. Put some contacts in, get rid of the glasses, and LaFonda, I'd have to take her shopping. I'd say, "Hey, young lady, let's get you some nice clothes," and because she's a beautiful woman, it just, I don't know.
And you got to bring me a cassette tape of your mixes.
Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
Always.
I'm chatting with them.
Hey, what was that song you sang? Always and forever.
always and forever.
I don't think he was singing that. Yeah, I don't think he was singing that song. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come with your do rag.
Yeah.
Look, and it got to be coordinated with your suit.
I'll get I'll get a front lace wig with cornrows.
What that movie? It was Kevin Hart in it, and the guy was a white. Will Ferrell had the braids in his hair. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh, he had braids. Oh, was that that? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. One day where he was like a rich guy and he went to jail.
Something like that. And then he was like rapping or something in a jumpsuit. I don't know, a tracksuit or something. I was like, what is this mess?
Yeah, you gotta get. Yeah, that was a silly movie.
Y'all are hilarious. I'm I can't even.
Oh, I love technology. You see.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch that movie just because.
What's that? That Will Ferrell movie?
Yeah, I think Kevin Hart was in it or something, and they braided his hair.
Yeah. But you know what? That woman he ended up with looked better than his wife. I'll give it that. I mean,
it's a crazy.
It was silly. It was funny. It was just.
See, you have to laugh in these situations. You know, laughter is the best medicine. But if you can't laugh at stuff, you cannot
you
be
know
around.
what? Hey, I got a good
have
idea.
sense of humor, I feel sorry for you because laughter smooths over a lot of ragged edges.
You know what I thought about doing for the channel? Doing a live and doing some like skits like out in town and getting some people to act out like how to approach a black woman and give examples. Like, I could do it the Kip way, trying to appropriate, and try to use huh?
Don't do
No, that would be funny or maybe I should have somebody else do it so I don't ruin my image. But
it.
Somebody like me who wouldn't care.
But
do it with somebody you know, somebody you don't know. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it'd have to be somebody I know because if I tried pulling it with strangers, they'd probably be like, "What? What are you?"
What's going on?
I was thinking about doing skits and how to approach and giving examples, and then I could do the Kip role or, there's different choices. Or I could do it, just be yourself and do it professional and the proper way, But
a smooth way.
yeah.
But you know what? Somebody might actually like the Kip way. Who knows?
Well, yeah, you know what? Actually, look, there are some women, there are some black women out there that like the Kip guy. They are. They like white men that act like black men in a stereotypical way. That I guess they like I've heard black women tell they like a white guy like that because they know he's into their culture, and I'm like, okay. You could be into their culture, but you don't have to act it out. I don't know. I just
like people who.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just like people that are comfortable in the skin that they're in.
Yeah, I mean,
on the reverse side of it, Brent, for you said like white guys that act like. I don't like to see black women that act like white women because they're with the white man. Like they have to talk a certain way and they have to look a certain way because they're with a white man now, so they can't sound black.
They code switching. So
yeah, well that's fake. I mean, you know when people you could kind of tell when people are genuine or because I know black women that sound like Valley girls and they're not acting it out. That's just how they talk. That's just where they grew up, mostly a white neighborhood, and they sound like white girls. And it's not because they want to. It's not because, and there's some white guys that do say a little slang, but it flows. It's not, you can tell when somebody fakes it,
Because I've known some that they are like, they changed now because, they got them a white man and they just feel like they're better than everybody else and they over articulate. I'm like, this is how I pretty much sound when I talk to Mark when I'm comfortable. Yeah. He doesn't want me to change my accent. And the funniest thing is hearing him mock me, try to sound like me. I was like, okay. I'm going to get this down and I'm going to do you.
You know what?
You have to work on your British accent so you can mock him.
I know, because I'm like, rubbish. That's rubbish. You're joking.
Bollocks.
So I'm gonna get
bloody hell.
Some black girls sound Valley, and that's okay with me. That's okay with me too. You know what? I found that kind of attractive. Maybe I'm weird. Black women with a British accent I find attractive. Maybe it's because we don't see it much.
I think a lot of times when it's an accent you don't
here we go.
then
knew she was gonna do it.
what? When it's an accent that you don't normally hear, but it is, it becomes more attractive because you don't normally hear it. But that's my theory.
And I find like African women with their accent attractive because you don't see it much. It's different. I mean,
until they get mad.
And then you can't understand them. Be like, slow down, please.
Even that's attractive as long as she ain't, mad at you too much. Yeah.
So, yeah. But like I'm working on different accents right now. I'm working on my German one right now.
Are you? Well, your British one sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know if I want a British accent, but I know that I'm gonna pick it up because that's what I'm gonna hear.
You're gonna have a weird amalgamation because my mom, my mother, whenever she moved, she would pick up accents and it would twist with her own accent. So she had a weird, funky accent. Like when she went to Texas, she went deeper in the South and it mixed with her New York accent. And it just,
man.
So it was a weird amalgamation. And when she came back from Japan, she had a weird accent as well. So it's just, because she's the type of person when she goes to a place, she picks up an accent.
Yeah.
So
Michael Ray says do Scottish. He likes the Scottish accent.
I can't do Scottish. I don't even know how to even begin to work on that.
You know what? I've tried to mimic different accents. I'm not good at it at all. I mean, you're pretty good.
I don't try, but it depends. I will pick up the accent where I am. So, because I do have a different one for work than I do on social media. But
yeah,
when I have gone to different places, one time I was in a group with people from the Caribbean, and the next thing I know, I just started talking and I had their accent. I picked it up, and they all stopped talking and looked at me, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, that came out of nowhere."
You know what? I have a Jamaican. Well, it's not really a Jamaican. It's more Caribbean than anything else. And like I will ask them before I do it, and then they were like, "Yeah, I want to hear what this sounds like." And then and sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna tell you in advance if I'm around you for a while, I'm just gonna start talking in this accent, and I can't help it because it's just what I do. So it's like I was talking to them, and they were like, "You don't sound like you're from Jamaica because it's not as harsh, but you sound like you're from like the Virgin Islands or something like that because your accent is proper, but it doesn't sound like you're from Jamaica because it's not as harsh, it's not as hard." So there's that. I have so many.
But I kind of love my Texan accent. It's a little bit of dialect from South Texas, Central Texas, and East Texas. So I know when I go somewhere else, when I went to Georgia, people thought that I was from Florida. They said I didn't sound like a Texan. Then when I went to Alabama, they said I didn't. In Ohio, they said I didn't. I was like, "Can I sound like a Texan, please?" I guess I don't have that draw.
You know what?
Yeah.
People expect you to have that you hang on certain letters, and when they don't hear the certain letters, and they're just, you're not from. It's like I don't have like, but when you go places and you pick up different accents and you come back home and people are like, "Where did you go? Because you don't sound like yourself."
Because I know when I'm around South Texas, I used to have the Tejano accent.
Like Tejano accent, like you speak the Spanish.
Like,
you know what's funny though? Isn't this interesting that people in different parts of the country have a different accent, different parts of the world? We can speak the same language but sound different. How does that happen?
That's like British people say Americans don't speak English.
Yeah, well,
We
we
call it
don't.
pidgin English. But we don't sound like people from Boston. You know somebody's from Boston when you hear them speak.
Oh yeah,
No.
you know
You can
people.
tell when people from the East Coast.
They don't say R's in Boston.
You know
And
what?
you can tell when people from New York.
Oh yeah, New York is a dead giveaway. You just yeah, you know when
With
they're
your
from
son.
It's like when I get around people that's from New York, I start sounding like, and they're just like, so where are you from? And I'm like, Virginia. They were like, no, you're not from Virginia. Like, how you gonna tell me where I'm from?
Yeah,
Going back.
you know what's one too is someone from Wisconsin. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Going to know.
The way they talk, they sound like they're almost Swedish.
Yes.
Y'all. Good.
Yeah, and then you go down south. Of course, they got accent. You can tell people from down south. Boston has a crazy accent,
and it's like the further you go south, the slower the intonation is. So, because you
can tell when people are from Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah,
you can tell people from New Orleans or northern Louisiana. They're totally different. You can tell when they're from New Orleans.
Where would you guys say that I sound like I'm from? You know I'm from New Mexico, but if I was just talking to you and you didn't know,
I would say Midwest.
Midwest? Yeah, a lot of people think I'm from the Midwest.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from the Southwest, but it's pretty close to the Midwest.
People don't know because I change it, so.
Yeah.
Do I sound like I'm from Texas?
No.
Yeah, I'm a native Texan. Come on, y'all.
I think when you say certain words, yes, but it's not always. That's like, let's see. Right now, I am working on the accents that I love the accents that's like German. So it's like I'm working on these accents right now.
I think when I'm around my relatives, especially those from East Texas, I do sound different.
We sound different around our family.
I do, because I'm really comfortable and I'm like, girl, child boo. I don't think so.
See, there you go.
I don't think so.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's because
Okay, Brent, you ready for us to go?
I don't want you to go, but I gotta shut down.
You gotta go to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I do. And
first, Michael, don't be talking about people from Longview and Tyler. We country.
The only reason why I started doing accents because once after one summer, my mom was like, "You sound so country," and I was like, "Oh no, not me," and I started working on accents from then on.
I want to sound like I'm from the country.
I can sound like I'm from the country. I just sound like a white woman when I do it. That's all. But
yeah, reach around there and range it off.
Yeah, reach around, range it off.
Okay.
Or people from Dallas, they say, "Come here, come here."
Come here.
I'm fitting to go to the Washington. I'm fitting.
I had some relatives. They didn't say milk. They said Merc.
Merc got an R in it. It's like, when did milk get an R in it? Merc.
Sounds like murky. It sounds like muddy water, Merc.
I'm fixing her. It's always, you in the South when you hear I'm fixing her. Cause I'm fixing to go to XYZ.
I'm fixing to.
I'm fixing.
You know the accent I have the most trouble understanding. It is a heavy British accent. Sometimes I have to just really listen.
There's so many different ones, though.
Yeah, and it's like, and I mean, it's like it's almost like I know a different language, and I'm gotta really listen to get it. even though we're both speaking English, it's like that accent. I don't know.
If you're listening from somebody from Liverpool, I can virtually not understand anything they say.
Yeah, and then they throw that British slang, and I'm lost. I'm like, okay, I don't understand.
Sometimes I'll just ask Mark to repeat himself. So.
Yeah,
but I do like the way Prince Harry talks. I always liked his accent.
I do too, but that's like that upper crust.
I do not. Prince Harry don't do nothing for me.
Well, or his brother. I like the way they talk. But yeah. I do like the British accent, but that's not the reason why I'm with him. But I mean,
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
I love it on black women. I don't know. I see white women with it. It's like, whatever. I mean, but black women with an accent, I'm like, ooh.
It's unexpected.
Yeah, it's like, how can I describe it? It's like different. It's like, it just sounds better. It just, I don't know.
So I guess I got to start practicing on mine so I can sound British.
Have to practice the fancy accent.
It'll come with time. Before you know it, we'll be like, what, PPP? Can you slow down, please?
Like, PPP? Is that really you?
You know what, though? You'll pick up an accent there. Once you're there a while, and you'll pick up on their slang, too, and you kind of, because all languages have a different dialect. No matter what the language is, different parts of the country, of the world,
I'm getting excited, but nervous at the same time. It's a whole new world.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got your Liverpool jersey ready? Because Mark likes Liverpool.
I know. I know he's gonna give me a jersey, but I told him that I'm gonna get a USA jersey just to mess with him.
Oh, US.
And he loved the Bengals, and so I need the Dallas Cowboys. Whatever they are.
Hey, I got your back, Dallas Cowboys. Maybe I'll get you guys a matching Dallas Cowboy jerseys. There you go.
Wow.
And he will not wear it. I will tell you that.
We'll work on them. Maybe we can convert them over. Come on, Mark. Come on.
I'm gonna go to the main areas in London with that on, a USA soccer shirt. Oh my God, I'm probably gonna get jumped on.
Yeah, they'll be like, "What is this?"
Be like, "Go back to where you came from," and I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Well, you wear a Liverpool jersey, you'd be good. Well, depending on what part of England, because Manchester United, aren't they a big rival?
Yeah, and Elon Musk is spending too much money right now. If he's buying,
I need for him to have a couple of seats.
He's going by Manchester United.
I need for him to have several seats.
There are two actors that own something, a club in England. I don't think it's Liverpool, but it's another one. And they're famous actors, but I can't think of their name. American actors, and they own a club over there.
Oh wow!
Really, Michael?
Michael, good night, Michael.
I need for you to have several seats.
Elon is an African American?
He is not.
Technically, he is because he's from South Africa.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so he can be that. That's a nationality, right? For him.
Yeah.
It's not a racial thing, because
it's kind of confusing. That's why I stopped calling myself an African American. I just say I'm a Black American, because they assume that I am from Africa or by the way of Africa. I'm technically really not. because I am generations
Generation,
from.
I'm several generations away from that, so
Uh,
I'm a black person and keep on moving.
well,
But like, 'cause there's been
you
a
know,
lot of South Africans that are calling themselves African American and causing a whole kind of ruckus.
you know what I am? I'm a Garden of Eden American. Hey, that's where we all came from, right?
But they've researched it in the Garden of Eden. They say it was in Africa.
Did it?
It's somewhere in the Congo.
Like I think they said like somewhere around Ethiopia.
Well, don't the Bible say that the Euphrates River and where the Euphrates and Tigris River meet?
Mm.
That if that's true, that's in Iraq.
Well, a lot of the Bible happened in that area. But
yeah, but because people say Africa, but you know, does the Euphrates run through Africa?
No, it does not.
No, but then people say, well, yeah, it's there, but that's part of Africa. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, I don't
think
really.
it's closer to the Nile because the Nile runs in a different direction than everything else.
Yeah,
I would suspect it's somewhere around there.
Yeah,
yeah, but it talks about I think the Tigris and Euphrates and two other rivers.
I thought it did go into Africa or Ethiopia or somewhere.
But I think they did, but they, you know, everything's spread out. And the thing about it is that you have to think about after Noah, and then that's where you have all your geographical stuff. And who's to say it wasn't originally in Africa, because we don't have any landmarks about Eden, but we do have it about the rest of the Bible, and the rest of the Bible was basically the Middle East.
You do have the rivers though.
Did they talk about the rivers in Genesis?
Yes.
Before
look
the I gotta look at it again.
Well, before the flood.
Before the flood, because I don't remember them talking about stuff before the flood.
Yes, it was, and it was named. I think some one of the pharaohs wrote down the Nile. I think some pharaohs or something. You know, yeah, back in that time. Okay, where did they send Moses down?
The Nile.
Put him in a basket.
Well, yeah, but see, the Hebrews were enslaved by the Egyptians at that time. And Moses thought he was Egyptian because his mother, because at that time they were taking out the firstborn Hebrew child, you know, and Moses, Moses' mother took her son and put him in a little boat to float down the river, hoping that he would be safe. And then Pharaoh's daughter fell in love with the child and raised it as her own.
But it was the Nile that they put him in.
Because they were in Egypt.
Yeah, they were in Egypt. Yeah, they were captive in Egypt. Yes.
I think they had been there for 400 years at that point.
Was it 400 years?
I just know that those people lived for hundreds of years.
Well, before the flood, before the flood, yes. After the flood, no.
Yeah.
Because, well, and if you study science, when you talk about the world, back before the flood, water would come from the earth, and it was more of a vegetation. There was more vegetation. The atmosphere was different. So animals and humans lived longer because of the atmosphere. And
there was no rain. They didn't even know what rain was until the floods came.
Yeah, when they talked about rain from the sky, they thought Noah was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they thought he was a crazy man anyway. But back then, but they've proven that animals live longer than people back in that day because of the atmospheric pressure. And also animals were bigger then. There was more jungle, more vegetation than there is now. God changed the whole thing. And
but they didn't eat. They also didn't eat meat before Noah. I mean, they were vegans until after the flood.
Oh, were they?
Before the flood, they in Deuteronomy they have the whole list of what they can and cannot eat.
It's Leviticus 11.
Oh, I thought it was in Deuteronomy, but I knew it was in the first books of what they can and cannot eat.
Yeah,
And I was all like, "What?" But I was gonna say they did find Noah's Ark. I think it was near Russia, somewhere in the ice.
Well, that's where it landed in the Bible. Was it Mount Ararat or something?
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't quote me because I have to look it up. But where that mountain is where they say it is where the Bible says it landed, and there have been people that have explored through there looking for it. The Russian government went and finally just didn't let nobody in, and then the Chinese were in there. There's people, and Mount Ararat. Yeah, that's it, Michael. Mount Ararat. Yeah, and that's where they say they found it, and I believe it's there. It just I think people don't want it found, or because they don't. A lot of people don't believe in the Bible, and they don't want to prove the Bible right.
It's
like Eden. I think Eden, the Garden of Eden, is underneath all that sand. I do believe that.
Well,
they have found cities underneath the sand. So
yeah, well, it's no longer Garden of Eden. It was cursed since Adam and Eve sinned. They cursed the garden. That's when death came in. The reason why
didn't he put an angel in front of it so no one could ever enter it again?
Yeah, they put two angels in front too.
Yeah, and that's why I think no one can find it.
Well, they're not meant to.
He said nobody to ever enter it again.
No. There's a lot of things that are in the Bible that people don't necessarily, they don't like. When they said that in the Bible says that Babylon will never rise again, and Saddam Hussein tried to rebuild it.
Yeah, and look what happened to him.
Exactly.
Well, they said the soil too is they can't grow nothing there. It's just it's when God says it ain't going to happen. Yeah. And kingdoms rise and fall. I mean,
and just God, like he gave that dream to what is that, to King Nebuchadnezzar. And if you look at how history has followed the statue, we in the toes, y'all. So he's coming back. But like he said that Babylon would go into the Medo Persian, and that happened. And the Medo Persian would go into Greek, and that happened. And the Greek would go into Rome, and that happened. So it's just like, even to have God predict it like that, and you can see it in the Bible that it fell like that. That is a blessed book.
Yeah. Well, look at what's going on in today's world. We're headed for the end times. I'm convinced of it. No man knows the day.
Don't read Revelations and watch the news.
Yeah,
it'll make you paranoid, because if you think about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, you have war, which we're having all over the world. You have famine, which is happening, and then there's like people are thinking that some people are even predicting that the United States will have famine. Then you have pestilence. Look at all COVID.
Well,
you have
some of the famine has already started. If you really look at some of the stores and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah. Don't think America can't fall.
Look, America, I mean, it will, but eventually. But because if you look at how Rome was dominant and how it developed on itself, we kind of following the same
We are. We're
The same
following the
pathway.
same pattern. Strong
Because
military. We're dominant. And now we're getting lazy now. Um,
they,
and we're in a pandemic. We're coming out of it, and the crazy thing is the economy is horrible, and there's so many people that don't want to work. You would think. I don't understand it. It's weird. And then we're starting to see stores with empty shelves. Uh we can't get baby formula across the country.
do
Stuff
you
that
know?
that
Excuse me. Go ahead.
yeah, no, but you know how stuff we took for granted that just flowed and just
Hmm.
we just had it, and now it's like, stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, Michael Ray, government corruption, yes.
And then,
We I'm sorry, we lost
go ahead.
PPP.
Oh, she must have. Oh, okay. Wow. We also have to think about, it's like, um everything that God said would come to pass has come to pass.
Yeah,
And people don't they don't take it seriously. And also think about this. At the end of the Romans reign, they were mixing, um they were cross dressing
mm,
and twisting the genders as well.
mm,
So if they were doing that towards the end of their before they split, then we are following their pathway.
yeah,
And the way things are right now, people in different parts of the country want to split away from each other, and it's like almost like a civil war. People trying to have a civil war.
yeah. And you know what? I think, and I'm afraid that we're going to destroy ourselves within with
Yeah.
with with the racial thing and stuff. We've
Hmm.
seen blessings where people come together, and the interracial marriage thing is awesome.
Because
But
a house divided cannot stand.
yeah, but when we got people that want to be separated, we can't survive as a nation like that. We can't. And we got to come together, because when we don't come together, that's when we can be controlled. That's when the government really has the iron fist on us, and there's nothing we can do. And it don't matter what race you are,
Hmm.
because the people in power will not care. It's not about race. It's not about that anymore. It's about power. It's about domination. And black and white people, we're going to have that iron fist around our neck. And you know what? And it's going to be our fault because we didn't come together and love each other like God wants us to. And we're all going to suffer from it. That's how I think that's going to happen.
Hmm.
Um, we're seeing a blessing happen. This is my thing, how I look at it when it comes to interracial marriage. I believe God wants it. I believe God wants us to come together and love each other of different racial groups. And I think America is part of that. Yeah, we came together. It wasn't by love, and yeah, there's a lot of sin there, but I think God wants us to come together and love each other, you know, as brother and sister, and
Look,
be
he gave the
and
rule.
oh, I'm sorry,
I'm sorry.
and
Go ahead.
yeah, and some of us are doing that, and we're finding a blessing,
Hmm.
but a lot of us want to be separate. A lot of us got hate against each other, and that I think is going to destroy us within. Um,
Hmm.
Even though interracial relationships are increasing, the hate's always there. The devil's in there, and I think it all it takes is a minority of people that have hate to destroy our nation, even if the majority of us are doing the right thing.
Yeah, because he gave us. Jesus said that he gives us two commandments: to love God and love people.
Hmm.
And what a lot of people don't realize, is that the Ten Commandments gives you the rules on how to love God and to love people. And so many people don't want to acknowledge the fact that the 10 Commandments are relevant today.
Mhm.
But we wouldn't even have the society that we have because so many laws are based off of the 10 Commandments.
Yeah. But you know what? There are people that are trying to get the 10 Commandments thrown out. They don't want it there.
It's
But
it's so
You know
frustrating.
what? It's kind of hard because it's this religious fight, but the original people that came over here started the nation. It was built off the Bible, which is so weird. Like, it wasn't necessarily they wanted religious freedom, but they used the Bible for a lot of the constitutional laws and
Mhm.
policies.
yeah, and you know what? It worked in many ways because there were morals, there was structure, there was you know, people were held to account. You know, not always, but and I always tell people, I say, you know what? America is perfect in every way. The only problem is it's run by sinful men. And what I mean is the idea of America is great. We're all equal. We want freedom. We want this and that. Yeah, the spirit is perfect. But when it's ran by sinful men, you get sin, you get corruption, you get evil. That's it in a nutshell. And that's the whole world, really, if you look at it.
That's why they call us the Great Experiment.
Yeah. And the idea is perfect, but we're not perfect, so we don't run it the way it's supposed to a lot of times.
Mm-mm. It's been perverse. Yeah, Michael, it is.
Mhm.
Like you were saying before I got cut off. Um, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be times at pestilent times. We're gonna see the
Mhm.
fact. We're gonna see a lot of hard times, and we are seeing it.
Mhm.
Um, but we just still gotta stay positive and stay
Yeah.
prayed up.
Yeah.
And the reason why you know that he's getting closer is because he said that he would take his angels protection away. And we have lived pretty good lives up until, recently. And it's like the veneer of civility has been taken away and we've started imploding on one another.
It's like this weekend in Houston. There is this man. Well, he set the house on fire. It's like a room and board type of house. He set it on fire and waited for people to run out and was killing them. So I
Oh
think 8
gosh.
people died, stuff like that.
Wow.
That's just craziness. And then he was taken out by the police. But what possessed you to do this to these people? You set the house on fire for them to come out to make them targets. What the
It's
Yeah,
the horror.
you know what's scary is it used to be church was a safe place, right?
Mhm.
Where even criminals wouldn't mess around in church. It was like there was a respect, and you were there, you were safe. But now we got people going
Shooting
in
up
the
churches.
house of God, shooting up people, and that's scary. You got deacons in churches packing right now.
Hey,
Seriously,
I remember
across the
when
nation.
ugh,
Yeah,
it's
we
just
have security at
because I
my church.
remember people used to
Yeah,
sleep in church. We'll go to the church and go and bring a blanket and actually go to sleep. Churches used to be unlocked where you can
yeah,
always go in to pray. And when I was young, I remember people, they had their rap music, everybody with the speakers in the back. When they would
mhm,
go past the church, whether anybody was there or not, they turned the music down.
Mm.
Even if they're not even going into the parking lot, they would turn the music down.
Speak.
Or yeah, or a funeral processional, people will pull over and let them pass. Now you got people weaving in and out of the procession.
yeah,
You know,
It's like we've lost all respect for one another. When people have lost respect from the Word of God, they have it's like, oh, you one of those. Because you can't even be a Christian without people automatically assuming that you a bad Christian, because there's some people that give Christianity a bad name because
Yes.
their actions are hateful and not of God.
Yeah.
I mean, they did that like me, like telling me, hey, they have churches for your people. Why don't you go over there?
Exactly. And it's like,
Wow.
He
it's
did not let me in. That's what he told me. And he stopped me with his arm when I was walking in, so it hit me in the stomach.
You,
that's just,
you know you know what
God
that
is for everybody. So that shouldn't even
yeah
be.
that's you know what though, that's not how it's supposed to be. But there are churches like that. I've seen that. There are
and and
and,
even if they're not that overt with it, they do stuff in subtle ways to make you feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it's just all like, okay, I don't, and I've never gone to that denomination again, any one of their churches, because it's gotten really, really bad to where they're even using the N word in reference
Well,
to Black people. But I'm just like, I had to tell another denomination, I had to check them because when they come with the prejudice and stuff, I was like, if it hadn't been for that one Black man who started your denomination, because back in the day he had 12 white ministers that he ordained, and during that time, that it was segregation, so they had to leave. Police came and they had to leave, and they started their own denomination, which is charismatic. And I was like, I had to tell somebody that. They were like, oh yeah, yeah, know your history before you come and talk about Black people, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's like in my denomination we have Black conferences and white conferences. And so, and it's they're told, when you go to the white church versus the Black church, the atmosphere is completely different at each type, depending on. And it's funny to me how we've had like white people come into the church and they're just like, the atmosphere is just so much more welcoming and different than my own church. And so they've switched their membership to our church because we were more welcoming than their own.
mm,
Or
And it's
like that white comedian said, there's a white Holy Ghost and there's a Black Holy Ghost.
okay.
And when the spirit falls on the Black people, we start to shout and everything. He was like, that doesn't happen with the white Holy Ghost. I was like, I know he was joking, but it kind of is a difference when the spirit falls. But
If white supremacy is wrong, black supremacy is, well, yeah. Any racial supremacy is wrong.
yeah,
Um,
this is true, but it's just like my church. We have Black people, white people, Hispanic people, and my pastor is even working on his Spanish so that he can start doing more things in Spanish.
yeah. Well, my church is mostly Hispanic because, well, where I live, that's the majority, and then
Hmm.
second is white, and then black, and then we got everybody. Um, but that's how a church's supposed to be. What you do is you try to reach as many souls as you can. You don't
Hmm.
focus on what they are, and I think sometimes, well, we've seen it through our history where we had segregation in church. We're supposed to
Hmm.
come together to serve the Lord, not be segregated. And a verse I read in the last prayer meeting, it talks about, in Galatians, how there's no Jew, there's no Greek, you know, male, female, we're all, the same in Christ. Well, that's not exactly how it goes, but what it's saying is we're all in the family of God. We are all one. There is no difference when it comes to the family of God.
We are
We're in
all
that
his child.
family.
We are all his
So
child.
we're not supposed to segregate when it comes to the faith. We're supposed to love people and It's about saving souls. That's what it is. Being Christ-like, you go to reach everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
and we miss that. We want people that resemble us so we can be comfortable, that resembles our community, and that's not what God wants.
And he said
And,
the greatest of these is love, or in some versions is charity.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
And,
and what people is like, oh, they're gonna do all these great works, but God said, I do not know you. You could say that you're a Christian and that you've done all this stuff, but if you don't actually hold to what you're supposed to do, which is love God and love people, then He will not know you.
yeah, if you're not born again, that's it. Yeah.
Because you know, many will say, "Lord, Lord," and so we have to be. If you're going to be a child of God, then you need to actually know what it is. Because so many people are Christians that have not read the Bible. The
Yes.
Bible is a paperweight.
And what's going to draw people is love.
hmm And the thing about it is that what people don't realize is that when you start reading the Bible, you start changing. You can't
Yeah.
you can't not study on the Word and be the same person,
Mm-mm.
because the Bible changes you in ways that you don't even realize is happening until other people are commenting on it. Because I had somebody comment to me, it was like, he's like, you have this glow now. And you seem like a different person. I was like, it's nothing but God. And so it's the thing about it is that when you start reading the Bible, and what's amazing to me is that the passage that you read 5 years ago, you can reread and it means something totally different to you now, because it means something different because God has made those changes in you that you can see it in a different way.
You know what? I've done that. I read Bible verses and read them again. That's like there's something that, oh my God, that's what it's saying, and it didn't hit me. It's like, wow, you, you know, um, yeah. No, I know what you mean, because I've read verses that I've read for years, and then I really dig into it and I understand it better.
That's
I'm
Um,
finding verses that I've read before, but they never caught my attention.
mhm.
Till
yeah,
it was I'm reading something, or something that's like telling me how to be a certain type of wife and things of that nature, and I'm just all like, you know what, I didn't read this before, but it all makes sense on how I should be, so that my husband would be praised.
mm,
Because God, He filters these things. You could be reading the Bible, you just flip through right quick, and it lands on something that exactly that you needed to read.
Mhm.
And it's like my favorite, and people don't realize is that when you're reading a Bible verse, you can't just go off of one. You need more than that to expand the actual scripture. And it's just like, I now, because of the way I understand things, I can't say John, because John 3:16 is something that you say off the top of your head. I
mm,
can't say that one without saying the 17th verse, because it expands and illuminates the 16th verse. So it's like you're learning and you're growing, and God is making changes in you, and it's like you look up and you're a different person.
yeah. Oh, hey, ladies, I got to wrap this up. This has been fun, and I enjoyed tonight. Um, you know, and I would just say, guys, if you're looking for a husband or wife, pray about it. Pray to God.
Yes,
Go to God.
please.
Go to God first. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, and
I'm a witness of that.
yeah,
and
and interracial marriages, we're seeing a positive when it comes to black women, white men. We're seeing a real blessing. And embrace it, but pray about it. There are good and bad in every group, so keep
yeah,
that in mind.
and
And
if he
you got to,
tells you no, believe him.
yeah,
because God told me, has been telling me no, so much so now that He sent me a dream and I don't dream.
Wow.
So that put the nail in the coffin because I don't dream and He sent me a dream.
Yeah, but seriously, go to God, ask God, because He's the creator of all of us, the creator of heaven and earth and everything in between. So you want things to happen, that's who you go to. It makes sense,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And go through life with wisdom. Observe, know who you're with. Um, but you got to pray about it because people are deceptive. Um, People can fool you.
I hope I'm not being fooled. I don't think I am.
Yeah,
No.
pray about it.
Because the thing
I,
about it
I,
is that. Ooh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say pray, and you know what, and just you know, we know what's right and wrong, and have standards,
Yes.
and be with people that love you, that celebrate you.
Yes.
Um, and that man or woman that loves you might not look like you, okay, but that's okay.
Triple P. If you've asked God and He's given you an answer and He's
Mm-hmm.
reconfirmed the answer, then you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Because He's been reconfirming my answer no matter how much I don't want to hear it. And so I know I have to do stuff, but I don't want to break this person's heart. But I have to get away from him.
Yeah.
So you know what? God will he will always reconfirm his answer just so you know that you're sure.
Yeah, I know he is, Michael, because I've asked if this is ain't it, don't let this happen. And everything is happening. Like
It's falling into
all
place.
the doors are open. So I'm just all like, you know what? Let me quit tripping.
I tell you what, when I met my wife Sandy, the doors flew open faster than it's funny because my dad told me, he says, well, you got my blessing, but you got to stand with your wife. You got to be there. You got to, he says, and people ain't going to like it, and you're going to have a fight on your hands. And I just looked at him and said, too easy. And I thought his mouth would just drop, like, what? But what I meant by that is I love her enough to get through all that. And
Mm-hmm.
and actually it was easy. I mean, no marriage is perfect, but it just flowed. It worked itself out. Everything worked. Everything's, and
Mm-hmm.
It's because you proved to Sandy that you loved her.
mhm.
Because you did things that she didn't expect you to do.
Yeah, I blew her mind when I would take her out and pay the bill. Like, um,
Or
eh,
no, I think that she fell in love with you when you left your mother's house and showed up at her door.
oh yeah, that night, yeah, she knew I was real then. It's like, okay.
Hmm.
And after that, hey, that night was horrible. That turned out beautiful. They really
I
did.
think mine was when I got the itinerary. I was like, you really coming?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. And then that ring came, and I was like, okay, this man is serious.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I'm so happy for you.
me too. Hey, I'll send you an email, you and Mark, and maybe we'll do a Zoom call. You and Mark and me and Sandy.
3 different time zones. That will
Yeah.
be interesting.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to set up a time.
Because
It have to
if you come
maybe.
like on that Friday night, the night before, I'm having a
Okay.
dinner. I will send out a program because I'm going to ask for different people to speak because we're
Oh.
going to need, yeah, because I can do it the night before, not the day of the wedding because I don't know.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, you're going to have like speakers and stuff and that.
At the dinner table, yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
want you to say something. That's why I said. I'll send you an email.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, we'll work it out. Um now I gotta go shopping for a suit and stuff, and yeah.
You don't have to wear a suit, but if you know, what that's what you want to wear, I'm gonna say that because my
Oh,
mom's dress is gonna be fancy. I've already seen that.
oh,
So
okay.
okay,
Well,
mom.
a special occasion like that, I want to wear my best. I mean,
Okay.
I want to wear my bifocals and do rag. I got to do it.
I I did send out an email, so
No, I'm just joking.
okay.
Like weddings are excuses to get dressed up for real. Because how many
Yeah,
occasions do we have to get dressed up, really dressed up?
yeah,
This is my
and
one and done. That's it.
hey,
This is my
that's the
one
way
and
to do
done.
it. One and
Hey,
done.
one of the
That's it.
there's look. Once I get married, there's no such thing as divorce. You gonna have to keep it moving. We gonna have to work it out.
Mhm.
Because I already said, over there on certain visas, I was like, yeah, you got me for at least 2 years.
Smart,
Sparks to
smart.
do it.
Yeah.
You
So
get
you want me to put studs in the do rag? Get it, bling it out.
oh look. You just have to say if y'all argue, you just have to say I love you. So and pull a Brent, say I love you,
Yeah,
so y'all stop fighting.
yeah,
Yeah, it's already working. Yeah,
yeah.
that's how you
It
stress me
it
out.
it, it does work. Um,
Sandy said that all the time, but
not
mostly she's on to you.
yeah, but sometimes it don't, but then it does. And she pulls it on me too, so she's not totally innocent. So yeah, and that's like it when she does it to me. I'm like It's like I was going to say something, but it won't come out now. Ah, and then I'll get frustrated and say, "I love you too." Okay.
But then y'all make up.
Oh yeah, and that's the best part.
Mm-hmm.
And,
See, I
and
need
some,
all this information, y'all, because I've always been so not stubborn, but I guess kind of hard headed. Because it's just been me most of my adult life. So and I was quick to cut people off, but I just can't cut this one off. It's just all like I want to keep them, and I tell them that all the time. But then I don't want to be like my mom. I don't like to nag or complain, but sometimes I have to fuss at them already. Like, oh,
yeah,
I guess that's part of it, you know. But
yeah. I
but
mean,
he has told me so much. Like where did he come from? He just came out of the blue, out of nowhere, and just like in a good way kidnapped me almost from myself.
nice.
It's so good. All right, so I know that we could keep on talking. I'm just gonna drop off because,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
but
I
I
gotta
want to tell you
close
I
it.
love you guys,
Love you
and it's
too.
been a great conversation. And
Love you too.
I
You're
wish
like
you.
my little sister.
Hmm?
You're like my little sister.
Oh, that's why. Look, that's why I got your email. I need to send you an email so we can bang out some colors and some patterns because I want to make you something to keep you warm while you're over in England.
I got Mark to keep me warm. No, just joking.
While he's at work, this will keep you warm. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
All
Oh,
right. So love you guys, and see you next live.
all right. Love you, ladies. I'll see you. This is Monday. Uh, I don't know. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I'll go live.
Okay.
Um, but I'll see you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Um, I could talk all night. I can. And ladies on the panel, I love you. You're awesome. And everybody in the chat, I hope you enjoyed this show. And my main point of the message was, you know what? Go where you're loved and celebrated. And you know what? Hey, we're all people here, and we can find a blessing with interracial marriage, and it's taken off. And you know what? We're seeing blessings. But what it all amounts to is what's here and what's here. Okay? That's what makes you who you are. It's not your skin tone, it's not where you come from, it's your character. And but anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you on the next live.